Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our December ASM review show. Let's introduce the panel. We've got Kelly. What's going on, Kelly? Greetings.
Greetings. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I'm using my Samsung buds because I left
Uh-huh.
my headphones at work, and so far y'all can't hear the party from the neighbors upstairs, but
I
we'll
cannot
see.
hear a party except for the
Good.
one we're about to have. So,
Good. Yeah.
we also have Ryan. What's going on, Ryan? How
Oh,
are you,
not
sir?
too much here, but I don't hear the party either here, Kelly. But hopefully you won't hear the
Not
dog
yet.
barking out each other time. So we'll see what
Oh.
happens. I mean, I brought my tea since I am the son of the dragon tonight.
Oh, there you go. Is that a Star Wars mug? Is that what I see?
It is right
Oh,
there.
very nice. Keeping it all Disney all the time
All
with
the
the show.
time, all the time.
And we liked him so much, we said, hey, Hornacek, come on back. We got Craig. What's going on, man?
Hey, Greg.
Because the fans demanded it.
They did. I know I did.
I want to apologize to the one person that downvoted the previous video. I'm sure that was because I was on it. That was just before YouTube stopped counting the dislikes. So to whoever downvoted that, I apologize.
It was your cousin. Looking? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go. I was like, why were you looking at the downvotes? Don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look at it.
Generally a good idea not to look at the comments either in anything.
Yeah.
Especially, here's a spoiler warning. Do not look at any comment threads on the internet when the movie comes out on the 17th. I was spoiled with A Force Awakens. Just on like a random news article, I was like looking at comments and look, Han Solo dies. I'm like, no! I hadn't even seen it.
Yeah, I feel the pain, Brad. This is exactly what happened to me too. And then when I saw it, I was like, "It's true. It's all true."
Oh, it's all true. I know, right? And as if he was on cue, I just introduced Craig, and now we have Tyler. What's going on, Tyler? You literally just popped on.
Perfect.
And let's see, if I say the word Neil, will Neil suddenly appear? Neil, are you there?
Neil.
Neil. Nope, not going to happen.
No, not gonna happen.
Neil will join us on Neil time. So
only time is Neil time.
I know. What's going on, SoFlo? I'm happy, Brad. Hello, Brad, in the crawl space.
Hello, Solo.
Mike says, instead of spending money on this filthy clone crap, I can just come here to hear about what happened. Yeah, we save you money, Mike. Whoa, yeah.
We spend it for you, Mike.
Yeah.
What, Kelly?
I said, we'll talk, because somebody said, hey, why don't you do this book? And it was $10 on the satellites, and I'm a little mad about it.
What book was? Oh, the Voices book?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I have no clue. You could have you should have told me that, because you don't have to review a $10 book. My God.
I paid for it, and technically, for official purposes, I paid for it.
Okay.
But I've got the stories for us.
Okay, cool. Adam, what's going on? Hey, buddy. Hope you're okay with the tornadoes. Yeah, hopefully I'm fine. Our surrounding neighbors, though, my goodness, thoughts and prayers with you guys. I've seen the video on the news lately. It's awful.
I agree. It's been very bad.
So bad. In December, too, of all times. Season's greetings to the podcast crew. What's going on, Matt? Trust and obey. Happy holidays, Spider friends. What's up, man? Thank you for the super chat there, Milo. I appreciate it. I always hear the party because I'm always down to party. Woo, party, says Mike.
Mike Murdoch is a partying guy.
No doubt. No doubt. Let's see. Matt says, webbing crew, I just got my comics earlier today and found out that my comic shop was short on 79 and 79.1 of the title, but I did get the alternatives of 80.1. Boy, when we start talking about these books, the numbering is absolutely ridiculous. It's hard to keep track of who's reviewing what. And I'm like, oh my.
There is no 79 point.
Yeah.
There is no 79 BEY. So
BEY. Who counts like this?
You saw me on my reviews lately. I'm actually holding the books and tossing them as I review them because I don't know where I am anymore.
No, and you can almost skip these. Anyway, what we're going to review, let me see if I can do it from memory. 79 point Bey, right?
Mm-hmm.
BEY, not BAE.
78 point Bey?
Yeah,
hey, Bey.
So 78 point Bey.
78. Yeah, and then 79,
mm-hmm.
and then 80, and then 80 Bey.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. I got it, Bay. All
There
right.
is no
What does
79
what does
point
Bay stand? What does BAE stand for? Is that baby?
Beyond.
Beyond.
No, BAY, like in
Beyonce.
slang teen terms.
Beyonce.
B.A. Baraka from the
Yeah.
80s. You know, I
No,
pity
no,
the fool
no.
reading books.
I pity the fool that reads these comics.
Oh my gosh.
You read the God's back, you gonna do it.
Tyler, what does Bay as in girlfriend boyfriend stand for? What does it mean? Is it for baby?
Oh, God. Okay,
thought that was a
it's not
ball.
spelled the same. It's not spelled
Yeah.
the same.
B-A-Y.
B-A-E is Bay.
I know, but what
and
does
it's
Bay
before-
mean?
And then there's
Love
Before
you,
ball.
Bay.
anyone else. Before
All right.
anyone else. And it's spelled
Before
differently,
anyone
so we're all
else.
confused now. Yes.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
The two teachers are being done on the correct past tense. done here by
I'm trying
Kelly
to
today.
find out the slang, what this means. And Tyler looked as confused as I am. What, poor guy.
I was
I
like,
didn't
why
actually
are
know
you
it
asking
stood
me
for that,
this?
so thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. There you go. All right.
Also-
So let me share my screen. Vinkman, yes. Focus, yes.
Good luck with telling him.
Yeah, good luck. I'm
like
Thanks,
squirrel
man.
some
You know
days.
this is not going to go well when it's the five of us.
All right. First issue we're reviewing. Spider-Man Bey, 78 Bey, B-E-Y. And if memory serves, who's got that one? Ryan?
That would be me. Hold on.
Ryan's
I
got that one. All right,
I need
cool.
my special Zen tea for this is the Daughters of the Dragon.
Yes. This is more like Daughters of the Dragon 1 than it is 78.
Yeah, well, I'll get into
Man.
it as we go. So, anyhow, let's see if I did. I've been kind of practicing for the last hour. See if I can do it. So,
You bet-
this Bay issue 78
Yeah.
for Spider-Man Beyond is, of course, written by Mac Kay. Gotta say their name right. Judd's gonna
Yeah.
find me on social media, and Eleonora Carlini. So this is the artist here. So, ever wonder what exactly is going on with Misty Knight and Colleen Ring, better known as the Daughters of the Dragon? You know, who have been around for many years.
Yeah.
Well, this issue opens up, of course, in modern times before we go into a kind of classic Bendis flashback. So it starts with Misty and Colleen talking to, of course, Miss Danger, the head project manager of course, the Spider-Man Beyond. And, of course, Ben Reilly, the current, Beyond Spider-Man, is battling out with the Avengers Horror Mansion. That's right. He's got the Chainsaw Massacre thing saying, "Welcome to the Avengers, Spider-Man, now die," by Captain America. Meanwhile, Colleen's actually watched this on the monitor saying, "So, wait, is this a kind of like an X-Men thing or something? Why do we have all these?"
That
kind
looks
of
like
digital
Captain
people?"
America meets Ash from Evil Dead is what that
with a
looks
little
like.
bit
right
of with a little bit of Leatherface mixed in.
Oh, well, Leatherface,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking
that's
Ash.
a
Kind of the
Leatherface
area. So
My bad.
anyhow, so
If only
and
he's like
Ben
Groovy.
actually, instead of actually fine, it says this absolutely sucks 3 times. And as he says this, a claw, which might be Freddy Krueger, is supposed to come out. But no, wait, it's actually the evil Nightmare on Elm Street Ant-Man who is trying to, who chases him into Jason Voorhees. I mean, an evil duplicate of Iron Man, who has got the hordes into, who is then, of
Jeez.
course, shot in the back. And all of a sudden, Ben turns
Yeah.
around saying nuts, and it's Misty Knight who says boo. You got to show this here because I think
Oh,
Ben's response.
Which one is it?
like
the Misty Knight? The Misty Knight Boo
Misty
one.
Knight,
Okay.
Misty Knight, but exactly.
There you go.
So boo, but then of course Ben's next response is of course the most priceless. What explains it. What
Yeah.
are you wearing? And now we
Exactly.
shall actually go to Misty's response to that in her classic Misty Knight fashion.
No.
Hell, if I know, this was Colleen's idea because Colleen actually comes out with all my outfits for some reason.
Okay.
But it's very interesting. So basically, it comes up that this all was a hologram, was a training mission, basically to help Ben work and hone into his spider sense and reaction. So basically, it's trying to tell something Ben should have known for the last 20 years that, when his spider sense is going off more higher, that means it's more danger. When it's going very lower, it's actually means it's less dangerous on him too. So that's all fun little games and everything. So it was alerting him. Thank you, Ben, for telling us something we already knew about 30 years ago. Anyhow, so then we get back to modern day. So what's
True.
going on? And Miss Danger herself, actually, in Charlie's Angels fashion, talks about a new robot Danger known as a robot monster codenamed Obsidian Star, because he's the star bad guy in this issue. As Tyler is rolling his eyes at me too with the Obsidian. So
he's representing the reader.
He is. So
no. Tyler and I are Next Wave fans. We're trying to explain this to you without having to try and explain it.
By the way, welcome, Neil.
And
I was having a serious discussion, so that's why I'm late.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's the hottest couples in comics today. That's what we got here with the So anyhow, because Ben is not on the clock right now, it's up to Misty and Colleen to take care of Obsidian Star, because basically, hey, you might not be superheroes, as she responds damn straight, but I think we hired you, so you got to go fight the bad guy. So they said, well, you know what? We do have an exceptionally cool car. So we go ahead and do that. And they rip through out here thinking they're Fast and the Furious to go take out Obsidian Star. Because after all, they have an antimatter bomb they might have to use if it comes down to that. So anyhow, a battle breaks out in the middle of New York when Misty using her high-tech Beyond thing against Obsidian Star. And they go into a huge issue. And it all kind of relates into with them actually getting rammed into him into the middle of the building. And all of a sudden, they find out they're no longer in Spider-Man Beyond, but they are in, of course,
their own one-shot. Yes.
One-shot. That actually has nothing to do with Spider-Man,
yep.
But actually somehow has to do with Camp Crystal Lake. And, of course, they show up at the horror mansion. I mean, the Avengers murder mansion. And meanwhile, Misty is kind of screaming, saying, Maxine, hello, Maxine, we did not do this. And she's like, be calm, Miss Knight. We already got our best team on all that, a.k.a. let's see what happens. So, of course, she tells them just go in. Data file says that Obsidian is in there, and they have to go in. So, of course, instead of like saying that, they actually knock at the door, then they say, okay, nobody's knocking, so they bust it open. And, of course, we are confronted by the Sin Eater, believe it or not, looking like the Scarecrow out of DC Comics. Meanwhile, while Doug Luce is getting mad over at DC Comics, Misty decides to just shoot him. Problem solved, right? Nope, no problem, because now comes out all the other horror men. But don't worry, they have the various Beyond tools. We got the high-intensity insectoid. We got the old scorpions. We have the ham-o-rama, which is a giant fist hand to take out Giant Man. We also have stuff known as out-damn spot remover, and then after she shoots Dr. Thing with the exact same ditto formula. They keep going before all of a sudden Colleen, where it says, wait a second, hold on. This is not only stupid, you know what? We're actually in a haunted house. It's not really a haunted house. Don't you get it? This is actually Obsidian Star. He's made the mansion. He is the mansion. So Misty says, well, let's use that atomic bomb we kept in the bottom thing, throw it, and let's see what happens, just like a subplot bomb. So she goes ahead and does it. And they all jump out of the mansion because somehow magically they could break through a wall and just let it explode. And as it says, Beyond Corporation do not use under any circumstances. Any manner about it is not on the mass market yet. AKA, you will be sued for this. But it works because Obsidian is knocked out. And then to claim her prize in the lights of her ex-boyfriend, that's right, Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, she plunges her hand into the Obsidian Star to reach out. Well, according to the flashback, apparently nothing. They just defeated it. Obsidian Star disappeared. But wait, that's a lie. It was actually the Dark Star from Super Mario Brothers Wii U, as he has now claimed the power up. And
hey, it's a Dark Star.
And this
you son of a bitch, hey.
Thrown Kelly out of the story in general. Kelly is now completely thrown out of this story, just like the reader. And of course, what happens? They say, well, Maxine have, well, she's like, well, you ruined my bomb. You ruined a couple other things I want to market. This is really going to cause the lump thing. But you know what? Go ahead and, you know what, do it. And they say, you know what? We're taking a day off. And the reason why you're taking a day off, mental health day. Thank you and good night. And they secretly meet what actually their sick day is actually, believe it or not, that's right, Monica Rambeau, the star of WandaVision herself, saying, I think I know where this needs to go. And of course, this is where I'll turn it over to my Next Wave Adams to actually explain what the hell happened. Thank you.
Yeah, I have no clue. I've never read Next Wave.
Yeah, I put in the private chat that Tyler and I are literally screaming like, "You don't get it
at all!
Just don't get it!"
It's because the Next Wave is in a Spider-Man comic. I don't get it. Ryan, what would you give this for a grade?
Oh, I actually was very kind, since I was actually a fan of my original video and gave it a B-. But now going through it and pulling in my JR, I give it a C+. Thank you.
Okay, Craig, what do you give it? What's your grade?
I give it a C.
Kelly?
Oh, you're muted, Kelly.
I'd say a C+, but really it's about a C. Like, I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of the 4 issues we're reviewing.
Me
today, to be
neither.
honest.
Neil, what's your grade?
I'm giving it an A. I hate all of you.
Get the hell. What are you on, dude?
What?
Good God, Tyler.
What?
I'll give it a B.
I give it a D, maybe a D minus. Ryan, pros. What do you like?
First of all, I did like it. Actually, was a good characterization between Misty and Colleen. Actually, did the relationship, and it was actually fun what they were doing and the spatter and everything, including the moments they had. It was, like I said, very Daughters of the Dragon. But once again, this is supposed to be a Spider-Man comic, and it's a Daughters of the Dragon one-shot. So another thing is, the duel with Neil and Cypher guy who flipped through New Wave a little bit. It definitely does a nice callback to the New Wave there. So that piece is really nice. And so forth. And actually, some of the weird characters and some of the names of the items they did to defeat the Avengers Murder Mansion were actually kind of funny puns. That's my pros.
Yeah. All right. Other pros? All right, let's go to Mr. A down there. What you should have the most.
So I'm in a weird position here because I actually don't hate the art. Like, I know there's a bunch of people in the comments section going, "Who did this art? It's horrible." I really enjoyed it. It's not as bad. Like, the same artist did the Star Annual back in Spencer's run.
Yeah.
But like, I think they had a bit more time to go through this issue and clean it up. But I really thought it was high kinetic, very energetic, really dynamic. It's what the Morbius arcs art should have been.
It's very stylized, and it's not for everyone, but I did enjoy it.
This issue to the Beyond issue, the Dot Bay issues to me feel like side stories that you could have easily just made like their own one shot, like within the Beyond imprint, as it were. And I don't think that's
what we're sort of getting in the future for some, like Mary Jane Black Cat. That's a Beyond imprint issue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in that capacity, I think this book is exactly what's advertised. They never said it was going to be a Spider-Man centric issue. They always advertise it as a.
What's on the cover? What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
Yes, but Misty Knight and Colleen Wing are on the front. They're advertised as
it's not called The Amazing Misty Wing and Colleen Knight. It's called The Amazing Freaking Spider-Man.
That's the thing, because
hang on, Brad. Did you have that complaint about the Gibbon issue?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the Gibbon.
Okay.
Gibbon.
This isn't the freaking Gibbon issue. This is two chicks chasing a dark star.
I'm just saying, if you're going after like what's on the cover, like
I think that was my complaint with the Gibbon issue too. It's called the
but they never deceived you into saying like, oh, this is going to be a Spider-Man issue. They said on the tin, this is a Misty Knight and Colleen Wing issue. They never lied to us. They gave us exactly what they promised.
Sort of the point of the Bay issues, isn't it? Where it's like
they're like side stories.
Isn't really about Spider-Man, but it's still connected.
It's not about Spider-Man. Look who's on the cover.
Yeah, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing.
Wait a minute. Spider-Man takes up half the cover. Colleen Wing and Misty take up the other half of the cover. The name of the book is called The Amazing Spider-Man. That's
okay.
Because Amazing Spider-Man sells more.
Exactly. I know. I just think it's very dumb.
Okay. So Tyler and I were talking about this when it came out, and I made the argument that like if this hadn't been an Amazing Spider-Man issue, I probably wouldn't have picked it up, which would have been to my loss because I really like this issue. So I understand from a marketing perspective. I understand it.
I get the marketing aspect. I mean, the Colleen and Misty Knight book would not sell what this one just probably did. Yeah, I get it.
Honestly, if the thing is, I like these characters and I enjoyed reading a short little story about them. But if you don't, I couldn't recommend it because it is purely a story about them. And if you don't care about that, But I understand why they put Amazing Spider-Man on the title.
I get it
because
I get it.
Sells more.
But like,
here's another question for it. In the long run, does this hurt Spider-Man? In the long run,
I don't think so.
does this say to the longtime reader of 40 plus years like me, like JR, like George, like Ryan, etc.? Hey, you know what? They don't care. They slap Amazing Spider-Man on the cover, they'll buy any damn thing.
No,
I feel like that. I'll be honest, Brad. I feel like that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, no, What do you mean?
Like you already have Amazing Spider-Man issue 79 or 78,
So-
And they've gone out of their. I'll be honest. The beyond board, as they've put it, has gone out of their way to say like you don't have to read this issue if you don't want to. It won't impact the overarching story. So
who is this for? Is it for the longtime reader like me who wants Spider-Man in my book, or is it a new reader which they hope to get by picking up a Spider-Man book, and when they open it up, he's not in it but 2 or 3 pages? It's not for the old or the young reader. Who is this for?
See, no, I think it is a kind of for new readers. For it's like saying, hey,
Nothing to do with Spider-Man.
but they also
here's the
market
thing, because
but they
if
clearly market
you're
as a Daughters of the Dragon book.
if you're reading the main title and you're like,
Or
I don't
an
know who
Iron
these
Fist
daughters.
fan like me.
Here, let Tyler speak. Let's try not to talk over him.
If you're
everybody.
reading the main title and like say you're a casual who's only buying Amazing Spider-Man, you're like this. Like when I was 13, I was only buying 2 comics. It was Amazing Spider-Man and Deadpool. So if you're someone who's reading Amazing Spider-Man, you see these Daughters of the Dragon characters, you're like, oh, I don't know who these are, but they're kind of cool. And it's, hey, here's a Bey issue that's all about them. That's who I think it's for.
It's to get another $4 out of you. Is what it is.
But like I said, it's not like they ever like tried to cheat us out. Like they told us 3 months ahead of time, you have the option to opt out of this issue if you want, and. But if you bought it, then at what point does it become like your personal responsibility to dip out if you don't want to read it? Because they warned us in advance. This is what was going to happen.
So it's not a good sign when they have a warning label like, hey, we're
But
putting
it's not. But
Spider-Man on this.
it's not a warning label.
You don't have to buy it if you don't want to, even though we've got Spider-Man on the cover and the name of the book is Spider-Man.
But like, if you don't want to read the main story, then you don't.
Yeah. Well, do you think this has anything to do with the main story? I think it's just a side adventure.
Well, if you've read Next Wave, then yes, it does.
Well, look,
I haven't.
Here's the thing, because it's very similar to the last time. What was it, the Gibbon issue called? What were those called? The
HU.
Yes, it's very similar. Where I really love those stories, and you didn't need them at all if you just cared about the main story. But I thought they were very good supplemental material.
No, Adam, Adam in the comments is saying the Beyond Corporate. No, just because I like something doesn't mean the Beyond Corporation is paying me.
Oh, there you go. Adam is saying for me to preach, and Mr. Comics says book has nothing to do with Spider-Man. Treat Ben like an idiot. F from me. Neil gives no Fs and gives the book an A.
Yes. I enjoyed what I enjoyed. I will get more into what I didn't like later on.
Yeah, no problem.
To me, this book took full advantage of the Beyond Corporation concept and just ran with it. Like one of the main problems I have with the Morbius arc and kind of with the Craven arc, and I like the Craven arc more than I like the Morbius arc. Just going ahead, is that it kind of plays. It doesn't really play with the concept as much as it should. Like if they're going to treat this as like some kind of, all new, all different concept, then run with it. Show us something like really unique and out there. Don't just play it safe with, regular Spider-Man stories and treat Ben as just regular Spider-Man. If you're going to advertise it as something different, go balls to the walls, do something interesting and new. And this book was that.
Mhm.
Like Jed MacKay's stuff for the most part, almost everything I've read. This isn't a horrible story. I've read a lot worse, but to put it in an Amazing Spider-Man book, and even as a side little, if this was in the 90s or this was in the 80s, well, I don't think they could do this in the 80s. This would be a backup story in an annual. Would you not agree?
I mean, I don't have the perspective to say yes or no, so I'll abstain from this.
Well, you've seen what Marvel does with backup stories. What did we just have? Issue 800? We had a couple backup stories. Did this not read like a backup story? And isn't the concept of a Bey a backup story? Backup should be the B. Backups everyone yearns for? No. Instead of beyond. I don't know.
But like I said earlier, they explicitly, I guess, they more or less advertise this as a B story, as like a side adventure. Like it's like Tyler said, it's like the issues.
It is. I very much. In my opinion, Marvel learned this by remember Civil War. They created a Civil War side story, and then they created an Avengers versus X-Men side story, and every event had a side story, so they can get another $4 out of you. And if George were here, he would have said. Now I'm quoting my friends who have left. George would say, "It's your own damn fault,
George is
Douglas."
still with us.
George,
The late great George Perriman.
George would
Yes,
say, "Douglas,
I
it's
miss
your
you,
own damn
George.
fault because you bought this, and you are proving that you're an idiot." And just Craig's an idiot because he's holding it up because he bought it too.
I just want to point out that this cost $4.99.
Oh,
This
it
issue?
did cost. It cost more than $3.99.
The Bay issues were
Because it
$4.99.
has, because I think it has an additional page count, doesn't it?
It has 10 extra pages. Or at least my Bay issue did.
Let me check. Let me check and see if I'm missing any pages from
Oh.
mine.
I have 10 extra pages.
Overall, I would say, like, I don't even know if we've gotten to cons yet, but
We haven't. I started cons early. I think.
yeah. But
Brad has
overall, I
begun.
would say
I started the cons by giving it an A.
I didn't
interrupt
go as
each
high,
other.
I didn't go as high as Neil, but I would I gave it a B. I enjoyed it, but I also understand the complaints. But for
Yeah.
me personally, those complaints don't bother me, and so that's why I gave it a B, just because it's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Help me with that name.
Wretched Eel.
Wretched
Deal.
Deal.
What do you guys think of the Symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads series? Our
uh,
thoughts on every
how-
issue is on our patreon.com/crawlspace. You can see them every month. We've got all the
Or you-
reviews listed.
Or you can go to the Discord and see what we have to say in
That's
text.
true.
Yeah.
Or check out my reviews as I reviewed all the symbiotes.
Yeah, no doubt. You can see that. You can see all of our reviews all throughout the crawl space. We've lost Kelly. Kelly was so upset that this book was $4.99.
She couldn't take this argument.
She was so upset that I gave it an A. She dipped.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
after
boy,
the
she-
Dark Star, it pushed her out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Any other pros?
Well, Mr. Comics actually kind of makes a point that some Marvel books are $4.99, and I think part of that's one because of the rising price of everything recently.
Yeah, I give you that.
And I think it's also because they're getting more content per issue. It's like what they did back in I think it was around the time Big Time came around. Like they increased the price from $2.99 to $3.99, but added like another 8 pages of content. I think.
It was about 6 to 8 pages when that was going on. Yeah, it depends.
Yes.
on
So
things.
it follows the trend of market price increasing of the general market price increasing along with additional content boosts.
So for the last 10 years, we've had $3.99 books. It's coming. It's $4.99 is going to be the default. I would think.
Eventually, yes, with inflation and change as well as getting
Yeah.
more pieces, that's what's going to happen.
along with
Yeah.
paper shortage, which makes the price of manufacturing and shipping and
My goodness, if we've got a paper shortage, let's not print these Bay damn things.
For years I've been encouraging digital comics to take a rise. The pandemic actually probably jump started that accidentally, but
Here's a question: Do you guys think that the editor and the production of the Amazing Spider-Man line, do you think they are stretched too thin and they can't focus on the main story? They're trying to sell all these side books.
well, no, they've already said that they've already said that like they've got the 19 issues of the main storyline planned out. This is just like additional like ancillary stuff.
Yeah, or to at least fill in some more holes. Like I said, the whole thing with Monica Rambeau is a subplot to begin with too.
Yeah.
I
All right,
did
let's
like
see if Kelly's coming back. Go ahead,
Oh,
Craig.
hold on a sec.
I can't see anybody.
I was just gonna say I did like on the when they're in the mansion fighting all the individual monster Avengers that
Uh-huh.
when Misty Knight punches Giant Man, she uses what looks to be a souped up version of the Hulk hands. If you
Oh
remember the
yeah,
Hulk hands,
remember that toy?
actually for sale, yeah. That
Yeah.
made me smile.
I also like it called the Big Hand. That was actually a good one too.
Yeah, Hammer Hands, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Here, I think I
Um,
can show it. There we go. There's the hammer hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I kind of like the if we're doing pros, I like the relationship between these two. You can tell they're friends and
That's the biggest pro.
they're badass chicks. I mean, they can kick a lot of ass. So I do like that. So I guess that's a pro. Kelly, can you hear us at all?
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on what we were talking about? How this line it just feels $4.99 for this book? It feels like a backup story.
No, so I like the Daughters of the Dragon. I think that there's something interesting going on with them, and they're kind of carrying most of this whole story where Ben and them are going to eventually have to go toe to toe with the Beyond Corporation, which is what we're
We've lost her.
clearly seeing for a book now. So I'm not really concerned by that. I am, however, just kind of over this story.
Yes.
Mhm.
Agreed. All right.
Ben
Let's
is
see
being-
here.
I don't like how Ben is being written, and I
Yeah.
guess I cut out because
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
talked
You
to
cut
me.
out here and there.
You cut out, and then you
Wonderful.
talked really fast, and then you cut.
Yeah, we heard most of it.
Get back
so.
in.
No, because
We heard the important parts.
Yeah.
No, it means that my internet's messing up, and apparently there's nothing I can do other than just drop the recording. So I might need to either give somebody my breakdown and be done with it. Like I'm kind of I don't know what to do here. Someone is dog sitting upstairs, and that's the only reason I could assume that the internet's messing up, because lately, even with my roommates here, it's not doing that. So I don't know what's hitting the threshold so bad at all.
No.
And I'm
Well,
You,
it's
you
all
sound
right
fine
now.
but
Okay.
we'll play it by ear.
All right.
All right. Any other thoughts on this one before we move on to the next issue?
Real quick, Mr.
Yeah,
Comics in the chat says that he refuses to leave paper comics for digital.
Yeah.
I understand that sentiment, but in terms of sustainability and supply issues, I think digital is going to become either a necessity or a strong Hello.
You're dog sitting too.
Yeah. But I think digital is going to be a necessity in some capacity. Like I get like, you know, the speculator value and the sentiment of having a paper comic in your hands.
Yeah.
But with a shrinking marketplace, as well as, you know, the sustainability of a paper-based medium,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like digital is gonna not necessarily become the future, but its growth as a side medium for comics is going to become a near necessity. And I just think that like refusing to change for the times is, in this case, kind of productive.
Yeah.
And
All right. Any
I
other
have
thoughts?
just one thing to say about this. Like I said, if you only care about the main series, I don't think you need this book.
Yeah.
Because basically, if you remember from the previous issue, I think it was just the normal 79 or 78. I don't know with all these numbers, but
Exactly.
it has that moment with Misty and the Daughters of the Dragon. They meet Monica, and it's just a short moment in the book. This is basically that, but stretched out with them having their own adventure. So it's similar. So you've already got the gist of it, and so if you only care about the main book, you do not need this book since they've already sort of covered that.
Yeah. True.
All
All right. Oh, go ahead, Craig.
On the last page of my Bay issue, the note from Nick Lowe says, "Anyway, I hope you're picking up the fact that these Bay issue tie-ins are super important to the main story."
Well,
Okay,
Of
so
course they
in that case, I will concede that point. But when they were initially pitched,
Yeah.
Nick Lowe did promise that they wouldn't be, you know, necessary to pick up.
well,
That's
why,
just him being a salesman. I was
well,
like,
why
pick up
would
this book.
Marvel? Yeah, why would Marvel say, "Hey, these
This
don't
is
really
post
count"?
This is post hoc justification for them making the book. Like I like, you know, earlier they pitched like, you don't have to read these if you don't want to, but now that you've bought, hey, don't you like this $4.99 book you bought for no reason?
Yeah,
you
there's-
idiot.
Yeah, I would expect nothing else from Marvel than, "Hey, really, these all count." Yeah.
It's a corporation. They're
of course
they're
they
just
wanna
as bad
sell
as
us
Beyond.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next one. Kelly, I think you've got this one right. Oh, you're
Sorry.
muted.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So here's hoping we get through it.
Cross my fingers.
right.
Adam says Nick Lowe got to go. Uh-oh, that's not.
I mean, he said it, not us.
Yeah, we didn't say it. That was quotes.
Yeah.
Plausible deniability, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. All right. So ASM 79,
Oh.
Cody Ziegler, Michael Dowling, and Jesus Abrito on colors. We started a bar. A bunch of Beyond workers are letting loose, and one of the guys, Doug, who is walking home drunk and singing to himself about himself, sees something really horrible, has a horrifying face, and that's all we know. Last we see of Doug.
Poor Doug.
So bye, Doug. And we cut to the fact that he didn't come in that Monday to help with the upgrades on Ben's suit, and that's why it's taking too long, because Ben is very, very upset that it's taking so long. Thankfully, Ben already also made his own upgrades, so he could keep them from seeing and controlling too much of what he's doing, as he's starting to butt heads with IT and the vision of what Beyond wants Spider-Man to be versus what Ben thinks Spider-Man is. So he goes to kind of clear his head a little bit, and he goes to see Peter and gives MJ a break to get snacks. Then Ben says something stupid about Peter not looking his best.
Yeah.
Because I guess this is Ben. And then gets to talk to Peter about how he's not sure this was the best choice he could have made, because it might not be what Spider-Man really is, which is the moment, like, oh man, like finally some actual common sense out of Ben Reilly for once.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he sees on the news that something's going down, so he leaves, saves the day, because most of it's kind of more friendly neighborhood Spider-Man stuff. So it's actually in his wheelhouse, and it's what he wants to do. And then he finally answers IT, and they say how well, he's being responded to on the media, social media, I assume, and stuff like that. So they'll schedule in more street level stuff into his itinerary. And I wrote on here in my notes, it's like, did they forget that, it's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Because apparently Beyond did. So anyway, he gets told by IT one of their board members needs security on a possible break-in, and Ben heads there reluctantly. When he gets there, everything is completely just strewn everywhere, and he hears calls for help, so he goes over, and it turns out that Kraven killed the board member and did a call where he mimicked just calling for help and set the scene to get Spider-Man. They fight, and Ben winds up with like a dozen dark tranks in him. So things are obviously going really well for Ben. He starts tripping, like completely tripping. We're PG-13. He's tripping balls, and sees that Kraven basically sees Kraven as a guy with wings and a lion head on fire. And then we just get to be continued. And that's basically it. Short and sweet.
Tripping balls. All right.
What else are you supposed to say? Like that?
Well,
like
no.
he is.
That's a medical diagnosis, I think.
No,
In order to get through this entire storyline, I want what he's got.
We need at least 12 darts all around all 6 boxes up here. Okay.
Do we need 6 each or just 2?
No, man.
I'm going to go with 8.
Yeah. Kelly, what's your grade on this one?
I give it a C+.
Yep. All right. Neil, what's your grade on this one?
I'm giving it a B.
Okay. Ryan, what's your grade?
I actually gave this a B-.
Okay. Craig, what's your grade?
It's B- for me as well.
And Tyler's not here, so he doesn't count.
All right. I give it a C.
Only the Lego Venom is.
Yeah, Lego Venom. What do you give it? Oh, brains for B.
Noble Venom head on the shelf. What is your wisdom?
Yes.
Beyond Corpse sucks.
I give it a C- for me. Kelly, your pros?
I thought Neil's probably gonna like side-eye me, but I actually thought the colors were nice.
No, I actually like the colors in this issue.
Yay!
Don't assume.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, no, I really
Kelly,
like.
give him a high five. Oh, the other way.
Here.
No, other way.
Yeah,
There we
no,
go.
wait,
There we
shit.
go. So anyway, I really like the watercolor aspect. I do actually think the art is pretty, for the most part.
Yes, I agree.
The story's not bad, but like my one major con, I think the thing that irks me about it is, and it's an overarching situation. It's just this isn't. It's better than the Ben that we've known lately, but this still isn't Ben Reilly. Like Ben Reilly should know that something's wrong and not just keep going with it. And I think like, yeah, sure, we're seeing this, but it's just very slow. And I don't. It just doesn't feel right.
Well,
you know?
it's so Ben can have a "What have I done" moment when the Beyond Corporation bombs Manhattan or something.
I know, but it's getting to the point where it's just like he
Intentionally
shouldn't be
obtuse,
this
Letting
yeah.
the theory
Yeah.
or the story out so damn
Yeah.
much. And
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Brad's got. I'm in charge now, guys. Okay.
Oh no!
All right, he is now in charge.
We're having all
Moving
sorts of.
up.
All right,
Okay.
transform. All right, it's time for a Transformers episode. Okay,
Oh, no.
so. Okay. But yeah, I guess I'll bounce off of you, Kelly. So Michael Dowling's the guy who did Black Cat during
Mhm.
McKay's run.
Yep.
I didn't like the Brian Rivers colors on his Black Cat arc. I really like the colors from Abertov in these
Yeah.
issues, especially
yeah.
in this one. Especially in this one when Ben goes on his acid trip.
Oh yeah, no, I especially like his acid trip. I think that's well, no, it's herbs. It's the herbs that Craven has gone on about that he's put in his trank darts.
It's one.
So-
It's cannabis.
No, it's not weed. It's I don't know what it is. Mushrooms. It's mushrooms.
It's magic mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually gone. Okay.
Well, Craig, you keep kind of freezing too.
Yeah, Craig, what do you think? What are
Yes.
your pros
Yeah, what is
before we
the
go into
story?
cons?
And I'm back. Kelly's internet
Shout out
problem
the
went to
captain.
Missouri.
Adam said in the chat, "I'm the captain now."
Hey, I left and came back and still beat Tyler.
What is Taylor doing? Did he go get pizza?
No, he went to go feed his dog, he said.
Oh.
Oh, there
Hey,
you
did
go.
you miss me, Tyler?
Did you go to feed the dog pizza?
What?
Did you miss me? My internet crashed and I left and I
He
still
left
beat
before
back.
you did, Brad. Brad, he left before you did. He wouldn't know what happened.
I know. That's part of the joke,
Did I freeze?
Neil. It's a joke, Neil.
Sorry, I missed everybody while I was gone, Brad.
Craig's kind of frozen.
Okay, where was
Yeah.
I? Where were we?
Well, I was asking about pros.
Okay.
Oh, pros. That's over.
Yeah.
Artwork, I think, is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was
If
on
I put
Black
that where
Cat,
you
if
died.
memory serves. I liked his Black Cat. Bunch of black. What was it? Black Fox? No, Yeah, Black Fox, I think.
Yeah, with the big giant skeleton guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That story. This was great for
Yeah.
art. That was. Oh my
Oh.
god.
I
Everybody's
Now Craig's
losing internet.
gone.
It's
I
contagious.
We're all
I
taking
froze
turns.
for a second. I froze for a second.
This is-
so
Kelly
this is
has
cursed.
I need my
infected
herbs.
us
Hold on.
all with bad internet.
I need
did
my
not
I need my
infect
2-liter.
anybody.
There you are. Welcome back, Craig.
Hang on, it's gonna be loud.
What are you doing?
Dr. Pepper.
Oh my god, Neil, that was the loudest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, right?
My ears popped.
I
Neil.
muted it. I
Thank you.
muted the mic.
Oh,
sure.
okay, I got you. Okay. Did we go through pros? Is there anything else? Spider-Man was in it. There's a pro out of me. No, he was in bed for a couple panels.
You know what? I'll give a weird pro. I liked that Ben's kind of having this minor existential crisis, and that he's not really sure.
I did laugh when Ben was
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hornus. Go ahead.
I think he
Craig?
froze again.
Yeah.
I think
my
he froze.
gosh.
But I liked that Ben's having this kind of mild existential crisis, and like that he actually genuinely wanted to be like partners with Peter instead of with Peter in a coma. Whoa!
Holy
Wow,
cow.
thank
My
you.
God, Venkman. Here, buy
Wow.
yourself some better
Jesus.
internet.
I mean, Brad, are you gonna help? Are you getting better?
Extend it
Okay,
down.
let's go dig some internet
my
pipe.
goodness.
I'm gonna go lay that back.
Whoa, whoa, hey,
Oh no!
My goodness.
Oh no!
We are
I'm
completely
realizing
off the
what I've
rails
done.
tonight.
Neil, you
Gosh.
go lay some pipe. Get away from me.
Oh my goodness.
Buy some Starlink with that.
No, that's actually gonna be worse. What are you talking about, Adam?
Anyway, Venkman, thank you for the mega super
Thank you,
chat. My
Venkman.
Yeah,
God.
Thank you, Venkman.
Yes,
Oof.
thank you.
Where was I? I think Craig's still frozen over there. It's like,
No, he came back for like 2 seconds, didn't he?
oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
But
Where?
But-
Okay, pros. Spider-Man was in
I've been-
bed. We had that for a couple
hang on, can you guys
pages.
hear-
So we actually saw the guy who's the book's about. So that's good.
Hang on,
Mary
you
Jane.
guys-
Mary Jane didn't really have anything to do with exception of the little chocolate bar thing.
Right.
So there wasn't
I
any
mean-
standout moments with the
She
supporting
seemed pretty,
cast.
She seemed pretty tired and
Yeah.
ready for
At
a
the end
break.
for
So
at the end of her rope, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good way
she
to put
really
it.
is. Yeah.
So Mary Jane was the reader in this instance. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Tired into the rope. Yes. And Craig, welcome back, sir. We got you.
Here we are.
Have you? Okay.
Okay. Who hasn't dropped yet? Ryan and Tyler and Neil, you guys are next. It's 3-3.
I
at
didn't
this
drop.
point.
I just went to go feed the dog.
No, he's saying no, Tyler. He's saying that you're next.
Scooby-Doo, protect me.
Protect
Okay.
me, Houston Rockets.
Kelly,
Protect
let's go
me.
through the cons. Let's go through the cons of this book.
Honestly, so for this particular issue, there's not too many like cons other than the fact that like for me, I'm not a particularly big Craven fan. I'm not a particularly big Beyond fan or a fan of what's currently going on, and it's not necessarily I'm gonna pull that name. It's not necessarily Ziegler, because I think he's just playing off what's already been written for his characterization of Ben. But the issue is that, like I said, I don't like Ben here. Like, I just don't like the situation. I feel like Ben Riley, the Ben Riley that like I know, and the one that like I was introduced to in the 90s Clone Saga, wouldn't have agreed to this in the first place. And so it's just kind of becoming more and more apparent that like we're not gonna get, he's not seeing the light because he wants things to be about himself, and it's weird.
Ryan, you got a good con? What's a good con?
Well, it's very interesting at the beginning of this issue. He's getting the upgrade to the suit. The suit, took, the UFOs, took ironclad, basically popping him like, hey, what that hit me? That didn't feel anything. And I understand what the thing with Morbius because it wasn't really set up here. So how did Craven not only damage the suit by blowing it up, but also piercing it with several darts, as well as punching his mask off? It was supposed to have, that's not supposed to do that.
Plot.
Yeah,
for
exactly. And
Plot.
Ben Eamon says, as he heads over to, get the armor car and save the little girl, he ends up saying like, I don't know, I got the firmware and the suit's back up today. I should be good to go. Craven's like, I got some good stuff here. It's going to really mess this up. Hold on a second there, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kelly.
So since when you were gone, Brad, we made some jokes
No.
about the magic mushrooms, and so all I'm saying is maybe those are really, really serious magic mushrooms in the tranks, and it can penetrate through anything because they're magic.
Also, probably he probably has adamantium needles. He probably went by Krakow and stole some.
That's
Yeah.
probably.
I could see Craven.
Raven's a hunter. He studies his prey. He knows the stuff. Look, he knows.
Yeah.
How to break
I'm just gonna assume it's magic. It's magic mushrooms.
He went by Calypso and said, "Hey, baby, can you get me some stuff?"
She's dead, man. Didn't she? Didn't she
the.
die?
Who knows anymore? Maybe she was
It's
cloned.
comics, man. If they are dead, they're back by now.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
Craven was dead too, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calypso
Ben
came back
Riley
in the
was dead.
Bay
And
issue.
here we
Get
are
it?
now.
Beyond everyone else. What is it? Bay. Calypso's is Craven's Bay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Dot
Yeah.
Bay.
Oh,
Dot day.
Yeah, there is Dot Bay. Okay. Any other cons before we move on? I need to get the other issue before we move
My
on.
internet's been
Here's a.
stopped.
here's
Been-
Here, Ryan. I mean, Neil, you give me your cons and we'll hit Craig up. Go ahead.
My weird one is that Beyond Corporation seems fairly, I guess, ambivalent. Like, they it's obvious that they're shady as hell, but yet they're not punishing Ben in any capacity for his various screw-ups, because aside from the UFOs, he jobs like everything he's ever fought in this book. Yet the Beyond Corporation, aside from like these very vague threats of a nuclear option, have seemed very ambivalent about actually delivering any consequences. Like, if you don't hit like a quota of X villains, then we'll, I don't know, kill Janine or something, or like we'll give Mary Jane cancer or something. Like something like do something Lex Luthor tier, like
oh,
threaten Ben or
coming.
something.
You know it's coming.
yeah. There's
Yeah, but like at this point, like Ben has failed in almost every fight he's had, and like there's no like this is not reflective of corporatism at all. By now he would have been fired.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Craig. What was your cons? Oh no.
Oh,
Try again.
Yep.
The con
All
is
right.
Craig's internet.
Milo, gotta go see everyone. His internet gave out too. There you are, Craig. You're back. You're moving. Adam says it's magic. We don't have to explain it. Vinkman says the hero of the book shouldn't be dumber than the audience. If we can figure out that the Beyond is bad, so should Ben.
so
Yeah.
Intrinsically, I don't think that's the case. Like, if we know the mystery, and the main character doesn't, then that's hang on, real quick.
So,
Then it's okay. But like at this point, like we as the reader, especially like Next Wave fans, know the Beyond Corporation is unambiguously bad. But their subsequent failure to enforce any sort of like quota on Ben, or actually do anything of note, has kind of hampered the potential of this run.
Okay. Craig, we got you. We don't. Okay. I am making a little Word document for everyone so I can keep track of what everybody's giving these grades, and also so I can do notes of what the hell these issues are called. So,
I had the Crawlspace, the spelling game.
oh my gosh, this is like Wheel of Fortune. Well, how do you? Okay. Anyway.
Wait, that's Dancing with the Stars. Shit. Okay, hang on.
Let's see. I got to get the issue previewed.
Does Wheel of Fortune have a theme song?
Wheel of Fortune with your host Pat Sajak.
That's a chant, though.
All right, who's got this one? I think it's Neil, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me.
Neil. Okay. That says tripping balls to me, Kelly.
You can tell by the
You're
eyes
muted.
on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these Art Adams covers, by the way. We mentioned earlier, but these
would
covers
agree.
are amazing.
I agree.
Is Craig back?
He's back.
I'm
Welcome,
here.
Craig.
Okay, so ASM number 80, legacy number, is it 881?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always an issue above for the legacy.
Yeah. So written by Cody Ziegler, art by Michael Dowling, and colors by Jesus Abertov and Eric Arciniega. So we don't have just one, but two colorists on this book. I'm so triggered right now. I am going to snap.
Why? Why? What's wrong?
Colors. It's a colors
Oh.
joke, Brad. You make them all the time, so don't feel bad when I make one.
Yep.
Anyways, Ben is high as a kite. I want some of that. Like, Craven's head is on fire. He's got wings. Oh my god, I really want some of what he's got right now. I needed to get through this entire storyline. So anyways,
I got you. Let me pull a picture up. Well, that's trippy.
yeah.
I get the Crawlspace logo out of there. There's
But,
his head. Looks like Ghost Rider with wings.
But Craven is, for once in his life, not focusing on the last hunt. Instead, he is talking about Ben's great awakening, and Ben is sinking into a tar building, and instead says, "I am Ben. I am Spider-Man." But instead, he reflects on how he's actually a shell, and Craven has a bunch of Beyond Corporation imagery ready for his Windows slideshow, ready to show Ben how he is not really Peter Parker, but in fact a hollow man.
That's actually a pretty cool image right there.
No, yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's Michael Dowling using like the Spider-Man PS4 hallucinations to their greatest advantage. So, anyways, Ben topples off of the building as the suit is warning him about the impact. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, you saying that this had the worst artwork you've ever seen? That's wrong. Nah.
It's his opinion. He's welcome to it.
Well, he's welcome to be wrong.
Oh, Neil, come on. Keep going.
But anyways, Ben makes impact in a dumpster as Craven hovers over him and says, "Listen well, Spider, I will make you whole again. Our trial soon begins. It's not the last hunt, but it's not the Grim Hunt, but it is the Beyond Corporation. Hunt's renewed, baby." Meanwhile, at the Beyond Corporation, Marcus is trying to figure out where Ben is, even though they have a tracker in his suit. I guess that plot point's abandoned now. But he gets a call from Janine,
No,
who
he shut off the tracker, didn't he? Last issue.
Oh, did he shut it off?
No, he didn't shut it off for this one because this is something that IT asked him to go on.
Right.
Yeah, because he went to visit Peter at the hospital and then turned the suit back on, and Marcus gave him hell for it.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out how the suit went offline. Did it just take a hard enough impact that like it disabled whatever suit was in?
Maybe the Tranks.
Reading the dialogue, it says they went dark about the same time as the explosion from last issue with Craven.
Mm-hmm.
So
This suit has about as much protection as the spider armor from the Parker Industries era. Jesus Christ!
I think this suit is just plot. It's plot point.
It is plot armor.
Plot. It does. You know,
Literally.
if it doesn't want to work, it's
Plot
because of
armor.
plot. It's
That's
magic.
pretty good.
But anyways, Janine is fulfilling the role of Silver Age girlfriend once again and giving Marcus hell about where Ben is. And I guess technicians are there just to make a joke about fiber optic cables being replaced. I don't get what the point of that joke was, but we'll go with it. But Marcus is freaking out, like he's getting mad at Janine, and he takes it out by accident on Maxine Danger, who is saying, you know what, we're gonna have words about this later, and I want answers. But Ben wakes up in hell, and he sees the light, and he goes to heaven, and he sees weird animal people. A turtle, a turtle, I guess a bird. Is it a vulture? Or
It looks like Moon Knight. It looks like a bird.
It's a buzzard.
It's a
And
buzzard.
is it a kangaroo or a horse?
I thought it was a
kangaroo.
pig. That's wait a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. On the board, we have a kangaroo, a horse, and a pig.
it looks
Something's
like an
off
aardvark.
with the turtle.
It looks like an
What is the
aardvark, which
turtle?
is a common.
Or
looks
now
like
we have a
combination
fourth
of both.
animal. We have an aardvark. We're all tripping.
I mean, to me, it just looks like the artist was watching Arthur.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
And I say, hey, these drugs are hella powerful. Hey.
What in the world? What?
No, it's
yeah, what
Bay
is this
Bay.
tortoise? Look at his hand. Look at his hooves. He's a tortoise.
He's tortoise. Oh my gosh, that's.
But
rough.
anyways, turns out that these guys are former Beyond Corporation workers, and Ben's like, I've been drugged, and the turtle goes, hey, I got some drugs for that. You want some more? So Ben
Yeah,
takes some.
That's the best solution. Let's take some more, Ben.
So
Oh my
anyways,
gosh.
Ben takes the drugs and suddenly gets a conspicuous case of the munchies, and then teleports to an oil rig. Things happened.
What in the world? What? This is.
But-
Oh my god.
But
Let's go to
Ben,
an oil rig. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
but Craven reappears out of nowhere and kicks the crap out of Ben. Eventually, it ends with Ben dragging Craven down to the Acme Chemicals plant where the Joker originated from, and
There's also Wile E. Coyote down there too.
shit, was it Ace Chemicals?
Yeah, is Ace Chemicals and Acme is Roadrunner.
But another fight scene. This looks like the train from the Black Panther third act, or the train or the railway in the mine. But anyways, Ben does a "This is Sparta" kick and kicks Craven in. But before his skin become bleached, Craven and heroes himself and blows up the facility. Meanwhile, after a quick time skip, Janine is on the rooftop trying to get Marcus. Yeah, Ben just appears out of nowhere. That panel is really weird. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I like this issue, but that panel is really awkward and just really poorly choreographed. But Ben comes out of nowhere and says, "Hey, I got high. Janine, don't be mad at me, please."
In this instance, Janine is the reader. Ben, what the hell happened? Is what the caption literally says on that panel.
But Marcus arrives once again, violating his employees' privacy, and takes Ben to medical and talks. And once he gets Ben kind of settled in and ready to cool off, he calls Maxine, and Janine kind of implies a nuclear option that if they want to, they can do a hard reboot on this little project they've got cooking up. And then she hangs up and turns to their legal team, who says, "Hey, so remember that kid from Brooklyn who Peter gave us explicit permission to be Spider-Man before Ben? Yeah, he's still around and he's in a bad turtleneck that Steve Jobs gave him. We need to go take care of him."
He's in a bad turtleneck and.
Wait, you mean the ghost of Steve Jobs gave him?
Yes. Guys, the tracksuit mafia from Hawkeye gave him this really bad costume. We need Ben to go in and take care of him.
Go Maxine.
Oh my god.
Maxine might be the best character in this entire book.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Next issue.
The guy in the bed is. That's
Next
the best character.
next
in the
issue,
book.
trademarks, legalese, everyone's favorite topics. Next issue on
Trademark
Amazing
law.
Spider-Man. But wait, MCU credit scene. New colorist too.
yeah.
Wow, what a shock. So Aunt May goes to diner, where she goes inside and sees an old flame, Dr. Otto Octavius, who sits down with flowers and automatically.
Kelly's throwing a fit. She's muted. What's happening?
And
I'm
May
not even muted.
I thought you were
was
muted.
being
Like you.
respectful. No.
I thought you were yelling at the screen. I'm like,
no,
what
but
is
look,
happening?
May goes
But I
into
know.
diner. Go back 2 panels. She goes to diner.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, it
diner.
is.
Let me see here.
It's the Seinfeld diner.
See? It's a diner.
Newman. I
What's
mean,
the
Otto.
deal with clones?
But anyways, Aunt May friend zones Otto right off the bat and says, "Hey, so I need a favor from you. You want a hand? You want to help me?" And Otto says, "I believe I can, but first, let me get into the costume that everybody actually likes me in instead of superior Spider-Man suit."
Okay.
To be continued in 80.bay.
Okay, let's go around the. This is 80, right? Okay. Neil, what's your grade?
I gave it a B.
Kelly,
Again, C+.
A plus. I'm writing them down this time, so I have to catch up. Craig, what do you give this one?
This gets a B.
B. Tyler, what's your grade?
This is an A from me.
Oh my god. Okay. Ryan,
I gave it a B minus.
B minus. I give it a D.
Brad
Neil,
Clean
pros.
So I joked about it, but there's 2 things I really like. The first is Ben's weird acid trip that kind of hints at what's wrong with him and what's up with the Beyond Corporation because of the very specific Beyond Corporation imagery of the hollow face.
So I think if you remember, this also showed up in Peter's nightmare with Uncle Ben having
ASM 75. So it's very good, I guess, imagery continuity with the Beyond Corporation.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The other one is that we finally have a Kraven story after Last Hunt that isn't about Last Hunt. We're finally telling Kraven the Hunter stories that don't have to do with his best storyline, which is refreshing.
Well, this is Craven 27 or whatever it is.
No, but I'm
right?
saying that every story since Kraven has come back as a character has been
Correct.
specifically has been revolving around Kraven's Last Hunt. So it's
I give
refreshing
you
to
that.
the story that doesn't have anything to do even with subtext about Last Hunt.
What we had with that in where he went after the Valkyries, remember? Craven went after that.
But he wasn't even really there though.
Pole.
He just he jobbed out to a pole. He just stood there with a gun. That's all he did.
He went to a pool with a gun. Is that what he did?
No, he got hit in the head with a pole.
Oh, pole. I thought you said he went out to a pool with a gun.
No, but like all he did in that story was just stand on the rooftop with a gun, looking menacing. That's not really doing something. That's just standing there menacingly.
So your pro is the art. I think you said, Neil. With
Yeah,
the,
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael dominates
any-
out of the park.
Any other pros?
So again, I do kind of. It's weird because I'm not a huge fan of like the legalese stuff that I made fun of, but I kind of like the idea that the Beyond Corporation is kind of trying to imprint legality and like copyright into the superhero world. I think that in terms of a concept that is fascinating, but it's gonna end up really sloppily executed because none of the writers here know copyright law.
Yeah.
So it'll just come off as, well, I was Spider-Man first, so I get to do it. And then they'll go, nuh-uh, we bought it from Parker Industries. And then they'll go, oh, you. And then Ben will grow a conscience out of nowhere. And then he'll suddenly grow a spine suddenly. And then it'll end with a nothing burger. So it won't be interesting at all. There will be no nuance to it. It'll just be Miles gets to be Spider-Man and nothing will come of it later.
Yeah. Neil gave it a B. The person who gave it the highest grade was Tyler. You love this thing.
I really
Yep,
did.
Tell me why you gave it an A.
Well, I mean, first off, art's gorgeous.
It
I
is.
mean, we sort of talked about this last issue. That doubles page spread, especially, is so great.
This
But
one
then,
too,
like-
I thought's great.
Yeah, and just throughout the issues, I think the art's fantastic. I really love the trippy stuff they do with like the, magic mushrooms. But just like Ben's melting, falling apart, and he's like seeing Kraven as this like godlike figure in front of him. And this is even this isn't the artist who did this, but whoever did like the text bubbles and stuff. I love how Kraven's like bubbles are like shifted, the perspective shifted on them. So it's just
I see that.
it's just to like give that imagery of that Ben's really tripping out. Even he can't even hear properly. And so, but not only that, I love Ben's narration here. Just, no, I'm not Spider-Man. I'm not a man. I'm a shell. I'm a blank canvas, a rough sketch of greater men. And that's just really powerful to me, because I know we've had our instances of Ben in the 90s being angsty about being a clone, which is fair, but I just think we haven't seen that for a long time, and I think it's really well done here. And so this issue is about Ben sort of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, he is a clone. He's a copy of someone else. And so that's just something I really enjoyed throughout this. And also just seeing, like, beyond sort of getting more sinister as we go on. And so it's just something I've really been enjoying. Like, yeah. I don't have a lot of complaints for this issue, other than, like we were said, I'm confused why, because they're like it seems like they're blaming Ben for the suit thing, which it doesn't seem like it's his fault this time.
Yeah, it's kind of an R&D problem when your high-tech super suit is constantly failing.
Yeah, but like you said, like, I enjoy this as a Kraven story, because so far every time Kraven has popped up, people are like, "Oh no, that's clone Kraven. That's not real Kraven." But I like that this issue doesn't do that. It's just like, yeah, this is the new status quo. There's a new Kraven. We don't have to. This is Kraven. We don't have to keep bringing it up that it's a new Kraven, because I remember when he showed up in the Deadpool book, they're like, "You're like the 87th Kraven or whatever." And so, but I appreciate that. Just like, this is Kraven. This is Kraven now.
Also, I will go and acknowledge that Kraven was a supporting character in Squirrel Girl, so I did forget that. But I will use a technicality and say that every Spider-Man adjacent Kraven story, or every Spider-Man story with Kraven in it, has focused around Last Hunt. So I'm gonna win on a loophole.
Yeah.
I did like that this issue implied that drugs are awesome and we should all use them.
Yeah, because, you know, if you're ever tripping, take some more drugs and it will solve your problem. What in the world?
Hey, Spider-Man, I'm a stranger, but here, take these drugs to help you with the trip that you're currently on.
It helps with my nausea and seasickness.
Well, too, it's also, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland a little bit.
Yeah, I like how Neil says drugs are awesome in this example of Ben having existential crisis.
Yeah, but he's taking drugs to cope with it.
Ben doesn't even put them in his hand. He takes the whole bottle and he shoves them in his face.
In fairness, Brad, it is established that it takes a lot of Tylenol for Peter. In Marvel Knights #1, Peter takes half a bottle of Tylenol to wear off the pain of fighting the Green Goblin. So it is established that Peter has a remarkably high metabolism.
Okay. He can exceed 8 pills a day. Okay. Or whatever it says on Tylenol that you're not supposed to exceed.
Any hangover pills, though, it's fine. They're from the last issue.
So we talked to Tyler, who has the highest grade of all of us. Craig, you gave it a B. What did you like about it?
As others have said, I loved the art. I got real Bill Sienkiewicz vibes from this. Not when he was inking Sal Buscema, but when he was doing like the Demon Bear stuff and the New Mutants way back in the 80s or 90s. This isn't art that I would normally want in Spider-Man, but for Ben's acid trip, it really worked for me. I like the giant Kraven with the Dormammu head, head on fire. And once the drugs wears off, Spider-Ben easily defeats Kraven in like a couple pages, as he should. And I really like the last 2 pages, which set up the next issue, which we'll talk about. I'll talk about in a bit.
Kraven, I've come to bargain.
That's pretty true. Let's see. Who else gave it a high grade? It wasn't me and Kelly. Kelly and I were the lowest two. Ryan, you gave it a B-. Let's hear out of you. Any other pros?
Well, a lot of things, but one pro is I actually liked with Janine, a lot of the characterization between her and the way she's been basically, you know, how she's worked with Beyond Corporation. Like, hey, I ain't sitting being the girlfriend in the apartment here. What the hell is going on with my boyfriend, and where is he and where is it? Right. And of course, when coming over, but of course, as she said herself too. But we've been kind of seeing that with her since, you know, the beginning here about how that's really kind of draining here. And basically, they're saying, well, don't worry, we're handling it. And she's like, yeah, right. Don't give me more of that crap. So, you know, she's not afraid to actually stand up to the Beyond Corporation people.
Yeah. She's even yelling at the security guys or whatever.
I see you grabbing the rest of that nipple.
Oh, are those the nipple guys?
Sure, they can be whatever you want them to be.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You just cleaned up Morbius's nipple. Now you're getting yelled at by the redhead girlfriend. Like, these guys need to just quit.
I hope these 2 guys become the key to taking down Beyond.
Those two dudes.
Right?
These
Yeah.
two
Morbius's nipple is the plot point that this
Oh,
whole entire
God.
series latches onto.
I love his
Good-
line. We told you we should have
Good
left the
joke,
table.
Neil.
So I actually do kind of like. Oh, sorry.
More like
I-
a Karen.
No, okay.
No,
can I
she's being
defend
completely
Janine?
reasonable though.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
she's not being a Karen or being anything weird. She's the only one that has any sense in this entire thing.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
They literally own her. Like they bought her
Yeah.
from the jail.
The
They
private,
bought
yeah, the
her from
private
the
prison
state.
industry, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the thing is she's their prisoner, but she's still willing to push back because she knows what's the worst that can happen. They're going to send me back,
Right.
even though they probably would kill her. But she doesn't care. She's going to push back because she knows something's wrong. Honestly, she's got more of a backbone and a spine than Ben does in this
Give you
entire
that.
series so
Yep,
far.
I absolutely agree.
Agreed.
I do like Marcus and how he's like a constantly put upon middleman. Like not only is Janine pushing back on him, but his own boss is being an absolute ass to him, and then even Ben's like making his job harder. I feel so bad for him,
Yeah.
but at the same time, he's a stooge for Beyond Corporation. So
like
odds are he's gonna. What?
It looks like Mark Ruffalo behind him right there. At first.
Actually, it does.
Yeah, you know.
No, that's a good point.
Let's see. Kelly, you got any pros? You and I were pretty low on the grades. You were
I mean,
average.
I agree. I love the art. I do like the bits and pieces where like we finally get some good Ben characterization.
Yeah.
Again, I think at this point you're probably gonna see B minuses to C pluses out of me
Same.
most of this until something actually like happens that I am enjoying. Also, in general, I don't need to ever be reminded that May had a thing with Otto Octavius.
Truth.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I feel like somebody heard me say how traumatized I was by anything with Audio Octavius.
Audio Octavius.
Audio Octavius. I said
I
Auto.
like that
but
audio.
whatever.
Audio.
Yeah,
okay.
I meant, but audio. Yeah. So Auto.
Just,
I
yeah.
just, I literally feel like somebody was like, what is so disgusting and gross that we can like bring back
Yep.
just to like piss Kelly off, and that is it.
Well,
I do like that May just friend zones him like right off the bat. Like
I
he brought
know,
flowers
good
and
girl.
she's just like get out of here. I just want your brain.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
do see-
excited to see Kelly's review of the next issue now.
oh yeah.
You
I
do
can't
see
wait.
May lean in to say that I need a very specific heat when you see Otto sweating.
Horny
yeah.
sweats.
Yeah.
No,
That was my
Adam, we do
backup
not want
nickname.
Otto and May together. That would be disgusting. Yeah, that'd be nasty.
Right.
Any other con? Well, that was pros out of Kelly. We
I
haven't
sh-
hit cons yet. Neil, cons?
Well, no, I was gonna say with Ant-Man Auto, I showed you my science. Now show me yours.
No.
Okay,
Growing up mentally.
but there I do have some cons. There's some really
okay.
weird pacing. Like Ben just takes the drugs and then just winds up on the oil rig somehow. Like they never
Yeah, what
like
the hell? What is that? That was
like
so
I get like there's like drug pacing is what we'll call it when Ben's hallucinating and he's just suddenly there.
Yeah.
But it just in terms of like the jump from the page just makes no sense, and then like out of nowhere it's just on the page where Janine's trying to call Marcus again and Ben, it just does a close-up of Ben. Like that's a really weird page composition. It should have just had like it normally would have had like an epic guess who's alive, and it shows like Ben like pulling off his mask because he's on the windowsill or on the balcony or something, but instead it just there's a close-up of his face and he goes, hey, guess what, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's really
Well-
awkward.
Well, maybe it was intentional. You think there's more than one Ben?
Well, yeah. Oh god, we're not doing the Craven 87 again, are we?
I mean, what if there's more than one Ben out there? And they
No,
don't know about each other.
no.
No.
Like the
We're not
Prestige.
getting a clone saga.
Lord knows we've had. Mary says, I'd rather have Ock May flirtation than Stark and May. Okay.
This is true.
Kelly, what do you think? Stark May or Ock May? Which is worse?
I don't. Ock is disgusting to me. Like, it has everything to do with Superior Spider-Man, but like,
Yeah.
at least like, okay, look, like if Tony got with Aunt May, like, I'm not talking about comic books, 616. I'm not talking about anything with the MCU. I would be like, good for her. So
She married up.
Yeah. What about Happy May?
Happy May. Oh, that's
again, no MCU. Like, I'm not talking about
Okay.
the MCU.
Yeah.
In fact, honestly, like after No Way Home, I don't want to hear anything about MCU for a long while. I'm burned out.
Ooh, it's going. It's going.
But I have another con.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like this. Again, we have yet another giant red flag. Like at this point, Ben is literally just seeing red at this point because the flag is pressed up against his face, and yet he is still not like concerned at all about the Beyond Corporation. Like he just goes back and doesn't. And like when he's talking to Jean, he doesn't like express any like hints of worry or anything. Like considering that he saw his giant hollowed out face in an acid trip. But like again, like Kelly said, we're back in the Ben is being obtuse intentionally meme, and it's getting. And at this point, like I could forgive it for the first two arcs, but at this point, it's getting a bit too heavy-handed for Ben not to notice.
I mean, how many times during Peter's history has he like been sick or something, and he's hid it from people? I mean, back in Web of Life or Web of Death, he found out he was dying and he wouldn't tell MJ. So isn't that par for the course for Peter?
Yeah, he hides things.
But at this point, I think Ben. I think at this point we fairly established that Ben is a separate character from Peter.
Yeah.
But like even ignoring like that he doesn't like pull Jean aside and talk to her, like even internally, like even when he's with Marcus, he doesn't express like any hesitation at all to go to the Beyond Corporation for help.
Who haven't we heard from for cons? Who else has something we haven't mentioned before? Anybody?
I'm not sure why Craven seems so offended the fact that Spider-Man is working for a corporation. It really seems like he's like this is like the greatest possible affront that any superhero could ever do, and he just.
I mean, I get Craven's motivation,
but I don't know why Craven cares.
I guess because
he's man of the wilds, you know. Nature,
yeah, like I think he probably
corporation. I don't think it's too out there.
Nature versus corporate. Okay, yeah, I guess I could see that. Huh. Okay.
Like Spider-Man is inherently a force of nature, as it were, and so him siding with a corporation is antithetical to the nature of both him and Craven, and so Craven views that, I guess, as a pollution of the hunt.
There it is. There's the Christmas music y'all are talking about. I heard it. Somebody got Christmas music.
Turn off a Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
he goes to the Christmas Carol.
I didn't figure it out.
We could.
Oh, that's what you were talking about in the chat.
Yeah. Kelly thought it was something playing on a computer, and Tyler was like, I hear it, and then I'm like, I can't hear anything. And then it's...
I've been hearing it for like 20 minutes. Like,
I need a door over there. I need a door.
Get them out a door.
It won't mute me, but it will mute them.
Get the door. Okay. Lord, where were we? Any other cons besides a Christmas Carol?
Humbug.
Oh my God. Oh, what's happening? He moved the dog door.
That'll so keep the sound out.
Oh,
yeah,
he's yelling.
that door's full of holes.
The man's. Oh, are you okay? Okay.
Now he's muted.
Now I think he's snorting. He's dead. Okay. The dog baby gate won't stop sound, sir.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Pull your mic down. You're muted.
I thought I wasn't muted. I thought I was unmuted. You were hearing everything.
No,
that was muted. Don't worry.
Visuals alone were hysterical. It's great. All right,
This thing will defy reality. It will stop the sound.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think Neil is tripping like Craven. Okay.
I wish.
Let's move on to more May on action that Kelly loves. Tyler, you got this one, man.
Does he?
Okay.
No. Tyler does not. I'm sorry. Craig's got this one. I apologize.
Yeah, I was not prepared, but I'm like, I'll do it anyway.
We'll do it live.
I love Otto's Sigma male energy right there behind May.
Oh God.
They're like,
No.
I don't care. I'll be on the cover.
Very
I'm not looking.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Take me through it, Craig.
All right. So Amazing Spider-Man 80.Bay, which I guess is 881.Bay. This numbering makes no sense. Written by Cody Ziegler. Art by Ivan Fiorelli with Carlos Gomez and Paco Medina. It's a beautiful Mark Bagley cover.
I'll give you that.
The hottest couple in comics is back together.
Oh God,
Marvel,
that I don't like.
Marvel, I know what you're going for, but just don't stop it. The credits page, we finally get Peter Parker listed in the blurb at the top with the origin recap instead of Ben Reilly, which I thought was very nice, since Ben does not appear in this issue at all. There's no title. There's no title for this issue, but I read this as a romantic comedy with Otto and May wandering around New York. So I thought maybe it was while
It's like
Peter
Home Alone 2.
while Peter was sleeping, Otto and May's Infinite Playlist, or May in Manhattan, maybe.
May in Manhattan.
Okay, Brad, he said it was a romantic comedy. Home Alone 2 is not a romantic comedy.
Oh, he
I'm
said
very
lost.
confused here.
No, he said like they're lost in New York is what I think he said, and that made me think of Home
I
Alone.
don't-
Wandering around.
I don't know. Macaulay Culkin and Donald Trump had some real chemistry there for a second.
Whoa. What did you call that actor's name? What did you say?
It's Macaulay Culkin. I don't know what you said.
What did you just macaque and cookin? Like Toucan Sam? What that?
He was lost in the.
How much sound did I lose in the?
Oh, I don't
God.
know, but you effed that name up so bad it was.
The air
Macaque
currents
and
through your
Cookin
door
was-
are affecting your sound, Neil, I think.
Macaque and cookin.
Macaque and Cookin.
Times like these, I just want to die.
Craig, we aren't
All
even
right.
on the first page,
We're
bro.
not even
Go.
on page 1. All right. And I'll just right now, Kelly, I'm very sorry for this. So Aunt May is in the hospital, but sitting by Peter's bedside. I
Yep.
like the multiple panels while she and Peter stay motionless while the people in the light changes. It reminded me of Peter by Gwen's grave at the end of ASM 2 with the seasons passing to indicate time changing.
Yeah.
Aunt May tells Peter that she wants him to forgive her for what she's about to do, which is to go and meet Otto, who is trying to be very charming by giving her a brooch. He says he has photographic evidence when he hands this to her, which made me think, is this a hidden camera of some kind? I don't know. We'll see if anything comes from that.
Slightly Norman Bates-ish, if it is a hidden camera.
Yeah. I did laugh when May thinks that Otto has awful taste in haircuts. Spoiler alert: the Otto and May relationship in this comic is a giant pro for me. Otto is trying to be very suave, but May shuts him down by saying, "Let's go get to work." Otto has an iPad, which he uses to collect field samples of the radiation that's affected Peter. He calls it Superior because he's Doc Ock, and it's now its catchphrase, and he's legally obligated to say Superior multiple times every time he appears.
Yep.
May is very open with back talking to Otto here. She's like, that was going to be my second guess, and who would ever do something like that, Otto? She in no way tries to hide her displeasure in him, which I really liked. She finds some clothing left behind by the UFOs, which Otto scans. May takes this opportunity to gently put her hand over Otto's, which causes Otto to have a reaction that most teenage boys can relate to, like the first time a girl touches them. In my opinion, May knows exactly what she's doing here. You can tell by the eyes, his reaction, like, oh my God, she's touching me, she's touching me.
It's ironic. Aunt May is all hands when touching Doc Ock.
Oh God. Okay, one, I do want to say, good on her for using her ex for the greater good.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
But
that is
also,
all her. Yeah.
Also, all of what you just said can be taken way out of context, and Brad did not help about the all hands comment. So great.
Oh, there's
Wonderful.
plenty of out of
I'm
context.
putting booze in my
double
drink
entendres
now.
here.
You're gonna get
Remember
hit
this
by
baby
6
from satellite.
sparks,
Remember,
Neil.
remember this baby from satellites. It's going in the drink. Let's go, boys.
You're so far back. All right, so Otto and May go back to one of his safe houses. He offers her some wine as he's doing his best to impress her with the layout and his taste.
That's a Marvel pickup line. Hey, you want to go back to my safe house?
Yeah, I got some real Glenn Quagmire vibes from this introduction here. May says, I called my octopus-themed evil genius X to dig around at a college at night. You think I'm not ready to get weird, Otto? Which, I mean, Aunt May said that line, folks.
What panel is that in? Because I want to talk about that. Where's the weird line?
Phrasing.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Kelly, you
first or second page.
Kelly,
you're
you
ready to get weird, Otto.
Kelly, you say phrasing. I say Ziegler planned for this all along.
Oh
So
yeah,
Go ahead, Kelly.
No, I'm agreeing with Neil.
When I read that, instantly took me out of it. That is not Aunt May's voice, is it?
This is not
It
the
is
Aunt
when
May
it's a
from like the
good joke.
60s, 70s, 80s, probably 90s.
This is ultimate Aunt May.
Yeah.
That is not Aunt May's voice.
I gotta say, Otto has a sweet gamer rig though.
Okay, so here's my thing. I think that Aunt May is willing to do whatever it takes to get Peter back and get Peter healthy. So she's gonna be willing to do this, and I think she also knows how to talk to Otto. At least this is how I've kind of internalized this. She's playing him. She's playing the long game, and so whatever she can do to kind of breadcrumb him a little bit to get him to keep at it is what she's gonna do, because I don't think she trusts him.
Well, yeah.
But the issue is like there's also, I think Ziegler is taking as many shots as he can into more like it's for more comedic effect.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, like the way you're interpreting it is sounding off character versus
Very
like
much.
It's kind of funny, where it's like he's meaning it kind of like funny. Like it's almost as if like it's the Into the Spider-Verse kind of May jokes. This is still Aunt May to me. Like it's because she is a very savvy woman. Like she has never been a victim. She has never been frail or fragile. She has had health problems. You know, of course, you know, and when we see her in Peter's eyes, she is like this, she's put on this pedestal because it's his mom, essentially.
I'm just saying that I agree with your analysis of she is very she's going to protect her boy and do whatever she can to protect her boy. That doesn't excuse her talking like a 20-year-old.
I mean, but
the voice.
What is the difference between a 20-year-old and
well,
like,
I mean,
I think right now she's supposed to be like 50, 60. I don't see where like there's a difference in how people talk. It's not like she's sitting there hiding in a room. She's no longer like the lady that was born in the 1910s. She's you know, she is you know, like at this point I think she'd be if she was in her 60s, she'd be born in the 50s, like late 50s.
There's just another, when I was reading this, there was that example when I read it, and there's another example, I can't remember it at the moment, but it felt very, very anti-Aunt May's speech patterns for me. And it seemed a little too hip for that old woman, is when I read it.
I think Aunt May can get it, and I think she's hip. So
I mean,
in my opinion, wasn't the worst part for me.
My age has been fluctuating all over the place. Okay.
Yeah, Craig, I'm sorry. I got ticked off of that line when I read it, but go ahead, man.
No worries. And just to follow up on what Kelly said, I think this is an Aunt May that knows exactly who Otto is. She is not deluded into thinking that he's a good person or that she can change him. She knows that he is a dangerous supervillain, but she knows that he is someone that can help Peter. So she knows that she's going into this eyes wide open into this situation. So Otto tells May that he will help her, but he'll do whatever he has to protect her and himself. Here's some more of that dialogue. I don't need some big strong man to come sweep me up in his arms the second things get dicey. And Otto says, what about a man with 8 arms? This feels like Ziegler had just watched Cheers or Moonlighting when he wrote this dialogue, is what I had in my notes. Otto says that there's a rare air pollutant found only in the industrial district. I did laugh at the screen. There it is, where it says test done in giant letters filling the entire screen. That's a trope in movies and TV that always makes me laugh, because real computers don't act like that.
Science means testing is never done.
Exactly. So Otto reveals a hidden room where he puts on his outfit. And maybe this is recent developments, not in Amazing Spider-Man, but are Otto's arms, tentacles now removable? Did he just put them on now?
Oh man,
I think they retconned it a while back that like they. Yeah, I think a while back they not retconned it, but like he upgraded them to be removable.
Okay. I mean, for a long time they were like fused to him, and there have been times when Spidey has ripped them.
Also,
off
it's a new. Also, it's a new body. So
Yes, that's why I was wondering, part of the Superior Octopus or whatever happened to him from Kindred or whatever. So I was just wondering, were his metal arms under his jacket all the previous pages, but I'm assuming not. So Otto and May are quipping back and forth all the time here. There's plenty of double entendres, too many to again. Yeah, and right there you can see the one eye showing up. That's done quite a few times, and when we see Otto sometimes, and it's very. I don't know why it reminded me of like the Ditko where it would show half of Spidey's face with Peter and half with Spider-Man mask. So Otto May arrive at the location of the pollutant. Otto thinks it's a criminal organization, and May says it's an apartment building. Chill out, Otto. Otto's definitely trying to impress May here by saying they should burst in and take what they want. But May says, hey, let's choose a softer approach. So she buzzes one of the buttons, and Eric answers. And she goes into her I'm a sweet old woman act and tries to talk her way into the building. Otto doesn't have time for this and yells, enough of your games, Eric, which made me laugh. It sounded like he was going to say, finish him. May apologizes for my husband. And because this is a Marvel comic, Eric lets this strange couple into the building in the middle of the night because May reminds him of his mom. If this were the real world, Eric would probably be killed 5 minutes after doing this, I thought.
By Ock, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I've probably watched too much Law and Order at this point. So Eric shows Otto and May Eric shows Otto and May to the apartment. He says one of them was named Simon, so Otto immediately deduces that this is the UFOs. It's low-hanging fruit, but I did smile when Eric called them the Yoo-hoos. In some ways, I'm a simple man.
The U2s.
The Yoo-hoos, it says.
No, I'm doing a follow-up joke, Brad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying
sorry.
to make a joke. Just pity him.
Dang, Tyler.
Burn.
Right for the
No,
jugular.
don't pity me, little man. It's all I grow.
Okay.
Gross.
Otto keeps Eric busy while May scans the apartment with the iPad, and I thought that they should have reversed these roles since we already saw that May has the right touch when talking to Eric, and Otto is better at the science. But whatever. Eric says that it wasn't the police showing up, but it was a group called Infinite Solutions, and I couldn't remember if this was the first time that group's been mentioned, at least in this comic. They cleaned up the apartment pro bono. Again, more low-hanging fruit, but that did make me laugh. May tells Otto that she's found something, a byproduct of X-rays radiation, and Otto says we need a larger quantity of it to help Peter. So May takes some device out of her purse, but can't get it to work. Then, in one of Otto's creepiest moves so far this issue, he gets behind May and puts his arm around her to adjust
Kelly,
the
look away.
device. I'm sorry, Kelly. And in my notes, I put any guy that's been on a date with a girl and gets really close to her to show her how to do something like play pool will recognize exactly what Otto is trying to do here.
Oh, yeah, Kelly.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Kelly.
Oh, and then is the word balloon coming out of her or him with the it's turned on?
It's
Yes,
turned on.
it's May.
I'm telling you,
May.
That's all May.
Oh, God.
the double entendres are flying in this issue.
Oh.
I love the follow-up panel though, where that guy just goes, "I'm gonna give you your business card. Will you guys do this anywhere else?"
Literally anyone else.
Yeah.
I said in my notes, I said Eric is speaking for all the readers when he says this.
Oh, here's Eric.
See, for this bit, I would turn my hat around so I could actually shield my eyes, but you guys are gonna make fun of what it says on the front of it.
It can't be anything worse than in the
Go ahead.
first Beyond issues.
No, it's very, very.
Oh no!
It very much matches Ziegler's writing right now.
I did not expect that. Oh.
There's no context for why you have that hat, but I'm glad it
there's
happened
no
nonetheless.
context at all.
Brad, can you make that the thumbnail for this YouTube video? Kelly in the daddy hat.
Oh, Kelly just looking at this image is the thumbnail. Of
With
the...
the sunglasses.
Oh my God.
I really want to
Hey,
know why she
I've
has
got a
that.
hat that says "mommy." It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Yeah.
Your son called me.
Terrible.
Oh my God.
Just doesn't work the same.
We're not even one third through this
OMG,
issue.
Kelly, you win the podcast with that hat. Kelly puts on the Jackie O glasses, and Venkman's O-deering it.
Yeah. Kelly
And
needs to be
Neil's
holding a
taking
martini
shots.
glass up in her.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to high five her on that one right there. It's like
Oh,
right
wow.
there. Yeah, there we
There
go.
you go.
Exactly.
Good
Yeah.
job, Kelly. There you are. I think I just hit Craig in the head. Okay, go ahead.
And I fall out of frame. So Otto says there isn't enough of a sample to collect, and maybe they should go see this cleaning company. So he tells her that Infinite Solutions holds superpowered individuals awaiting trial or transfer to prison. So of course it's located in the middle of the city. May tells Otto that he makes quite the partner and makes her miss the old days, which causes Otto to gulp and say in probably a squeaky voice, teen voice, "We're here."
Oh my gosh.
Otto and May enter Infinite Solutions. She tells him that she's going to be doing the talking. So again, she does her sweet old lady voice. She tells the guard on duty that their grandson is being held here. And Otto says that they brought him cookies, baked with love, lots of love. And in my notes, I wrote, "I love undercover Otto."
Just looking off to the side really awkwardly, like, yeah, I'm really trying, man.
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, May, I will do this, but this is as much as I'm going to focus."
Listen, May, I simp, but I have reasons. I have boundaries here, just like me.
Wait,
I
does
sent-
Otto have boundaries? Because I don't think he does.
No, definitely not.
Well, he has limits to how hard he'll try, though, just like me.
But
Sure.
May's act doesn't work on this guard, who tells her that visits are by appointment only. They go outside, and Otto tells May, "We're doing things my way now." So he wraps her up in a tentacle, and they climb the building in what I assume is an homage to Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, that's totally Spider-Man 2.
Oops, Butterfingers.
Just to put in perspective, can you take the Spider-Man 2 scene and envision Rosemary Harris flirting with Doc Ock? Can you visually imagine that? It makes me want to throw up. It's disgusting.
Well, she hits him with the umbrella, and I know, like in grade school, they say you always hit the people that you really secretly like.
jeez.
So sorry,
Jeez.
Brad.
Okay, no one actually says that. That's just helping form gaslighters and
Okay.
abusers. Just saying, don't ever
This-
believe it.
Yeah,
If someone
true.
hits you, it's wrong. Period.
It's
It is
very
not
true.
Cool.
The girl hit me when I was in grade 1, and I'd like to think that she liked me.
I'm sorry
She-
to say no.
She hated you.
Yeah. It's changed my whole focus on life now. May says that if he drops her, she'll come back as a ghost and haunt him. Otto says, "I'm a scientist, May," which made me think of Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters. That's a shout out to Venkman if he's here. He says, "I don't believe in ghosts. Well, mostly. And I'm hoping that was a reference to the Conway run where Doc Ock fought the ghost of Hammerhead."
This is another thing. I was taken aback with that little line out of May 2. I don't think that didn't read like her. Just personally, I don't think she's that funny. But anyway,
I don't know. I think May's saying that if I fall, then I will come back and haunt you. I don't know. That's basically she's
it
trying
just
to threaten him.
I know,
I don't know
but
if
it
she's
didn't
trying to be
read like
funny.
personally for me. That didn't sound like Aunt May's voice.
I kind of agree with
Why
Brad.
does Adam think I'm 17?
Neil, don't get distracted with the comments that aren't on the screen. Tyler's talking. Go, man. Go.
So I'll say like I kind of understand like the fact that it's so hard doesn't seem like something like an old woman would say. Like,
Yes, it's not her voice, man. It's just not her voice for me. But
All right. So Otto tells May that they have to collect samples from both X-ray and vapor. The scanner says that they're in 2 different directions, so we know that they're probably going to have to split up. Otto calls them targets, but May says, "Otto, these are people. They have names." Again, May is sees the good in everyone here. Otto and May dodge some guards. They see this inside workout yard where X-ray is just lifting some weights. May says that there's lots of people here, and Otto is about to come up with his new plan, but they're spotted by a guard whom Otto knocks out, which alerts everyone. Otto tells May to go take the key card and go find Vapor and meet him at the security room. May tells Otto to be careful because she wants to be able to thank him properly after we finish all of this. Oh boy. Again, May knows exactly what she has to say to get Otto to do what she wants here. And Otto, knowing exactly what May is implying, puts maximum effort into taking out the guards and prisoners. X-Ray tells the guard Harry to turn off the power dampeners so he can defeat Doc Ock. I like that they mentioned power dampeners because I wasn't sure if they were in effect, because like X-Ray seems to be fully powered up when he's lifting weights, and they're wondering why they letting supervillains be all powerful inside this prison. Harry does turn off the power dampeners, which is bad news for Harry because X-Ray shoots a blast at Doc Ock, but this blast hits Harry. I'm not sure if this was intentional or not. Otto knocks X-Ray against the wall so hard one of his shoes actually falls off. Otto shoots.
I see it. Let me pull it up. I didn't notice that when I read it. Look at those shoes fly up.
Yeah, I don't know if they're flip flops or prison issued.
They're Crocs.
Sandals. They're Crocs. Yeah, so good. He shouldn't be wearing them anyway. Otto shoots X-Ray with blasts from his tentacles, and in my notes I said, have his tentacles always been able to do this? Is this something recently in the Superior Octopus title or
this one, yeah.
something? I didn't know. Like he doesn't say, "Oh, I've upgraded my arms to be able to do this," but who knows? He asks X-Ray what his connection is to Infinite Solutions, and X-Ray basically gives him a recap of how they were fought the Hulk recently. They broke out and they got a job. That's where we saw them fight Peter and Ben. X-Ray.
Here we go. Real quick. Adam says Ock versus Crocs.
Yeah.
There, I like that. That's nice.
No matter who wins.
Dawn of Justice.
X-Ray speaks for all of Marvel when he says that Spider-Man 2.0 had some of the best tech I've ever seen and was superior in every way. Oh boy. And meanwhile, Marvel is paying X-Ray some cash under the table there for getting him to say that line.
Yeah.
Otto is personally offended that X-Ray is using his catchphrase there and says, "What would you know of superiority?" and just flings him straight up into the air, saying, "I stand superior above all." He knocks X-Ray out and then collects a sample by what looks like just slicing into his chest. I don't know exactly what he's doing there to get that sample, but finally all the other guards show up. In my notes, and it says, "Where were these guards all of this time?" And they tell Otto to put all of his arms into the air. Spoiler alert, this does not go well for these guards. Meanwhile, May finds Vapor in her cell. She calls May grandma, and May says, "I'm the only old bat with enough energy to still hang past sundown," which now I know that Brad probably hates the fact that May is saying hang.
Let me see. Let me see where she says it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's where she calls her grandma and says, "You're out late."
The second panel on that page, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that seems like a hip, out of character May to me, but you know.
May is just trying to relate to the young folks here, I think. So she tells Vapor, who says, "My name is Anne," about Peter, and she shows her a picture of him on her phone. And she says, "Look, my poor nephew is sick. I need your help to fix him." May treats Anne like an actual person here by asking for help to save Peter. So May unlocks Anne's cell and asks if she can take a sample. Anne is impressed by May, as are all the readers I put, and agrees. So May gets her sample, thanks Anne, and leaves, relocking Anne in her cell. And in my notes, I'm like, why didn't Anne allow May to lock her back in the cell?
Yes.
Why doesn't she try to escape here?
Yes.
Maybe she thought
100%.
she'd be letting May down.
Yeah.
You don't want to disappoint an old lady.
Yeah, if she could have reached in like through that little hole where she passes her the phone and
That
said,
would've made
"Here, let
more
me take the
sense.
sample that way." The fact that May just opens the door before Anne even says, "Yes,
Makes
I'll help
no
you."
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
What
I'd have
vil-
to think that you just knock out Anne and just escape.
Yeah,
them.
I totally agree with the hand through the arm. Just give me your hand, and there you got the sample. Opening the whole door.
I assumed that was meant to be a show of good faith.
Yeah.
I again, I had problems with it.
Meanwhile, we see the exact opposite approach with Otto taking out all the guards, threatening some guy in a suit who I assume is the warden. And I noticed that, Brad, if you could put that panel back up again, that one of the knocked out guards on the left looks suspiciously like J. Jonah Jameson, I thought.
He does, yeah. I like when Venkman gives me a shot. He says May adapts to Zoomer talk better than Brad. There you go. It's true. It's true.
So Otto is searching through the computers to try and find out Infinite Solution secrets. He finds something that enrages him, and he mentions, "Do you know who you're working for? What they stole from me?" I didn't read in my notes. I didn't know if this was following up on something from like previous Superior Octopus stuff, or if this was something brand new. But it sounds like Otto is going to be involved in the Beyond Corporation, apart from just helping May and Peter here. So he's got a reason to go after Beyond as well. Otto's about to skin the guy alive, but May shows up and tells him to let him go. Otto apologizes, but says, "This is the man I've always been." May's disgusted with Otto and hands him back the Omni sensor, saying she wants nothing to do with him or his help. So basically, she went through all of this, and just now it says, "Now that we've collected the samples, yeah, forget it. I don't want your help to save my nephew's life." And in a conversation that reminded me of the final Peter Otto conversation in the PS4 game, May says that she was a fool to think that Otto could change, and Otto says that he was given a power and it's his duty to use it. May leaves, telling Otto that he has used that power irresponsibly and that she won't be seeing him ever again. Cue the next issue when May probably sees Otto. And Otto in that final panel looks like the image of the sad Charlie Brown looking down with the music playing like. Da, 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 da.
Here, I got you.
Yeah, he looks really depressed in that panel.
Instead of the little redhead girl, the little white-headed girl.
Like he's looking
Just
like,
jumping.
"Oh man, we did all this and May's
wah,
leaving." Wah, wah.
I've been used.
Yeah. So we cut back to May's apartment probably the next day, and we see a cat. And in my notes says, "Wait, does May have a cat, or is this just some neighborhood cat?" I need to know this.
Yeah, who is? When did Aunt May get a cat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
that's
was
what I
that
was
cat?
asking.
That made no sense.
I really hope May has a cat, but
She-
if so,
she
then
can
I
have
need
a
to know.
life. She
Yeah.
can have pets that we don't know about. It's not.
I
her
hope that she
book.
does.
She's not the main character. This isn't the Amazing May.
Maybe
Is
it's
she
a stray.
borrowing- is
maybe
she
maybe
borrow-
a stray just walked and she put a collar on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, she's borrowing the cat from the neighbor. She's like, "Hey,
I
can I?"
think that
can I-"
works too.
She has a dog. It's named Ms. Lion. That's what it should be. Why a cat? Anyway,
Why not?
why
Anyway,
not,
I really
guess.
hope that
Do
she
you
does
hate
have a
cats,
cat.
Brad?
I do. I don't like cats.
Why?
I can't stand.
They are noble
Kitty,
creatures.
kitty, 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 kitty. Where are you? Come on, come on.
Sorry. Oh yeah.
All right, sorry.
Not a cat guy at all.
All right. So May is thinking that she's going to need a miracle to save Peter. Cue the phone call from Dr. Burdick, who says he received an anonymous delivery of information detailing Peter's condition and how to solve it. And like any professional doctor, he accepts any treatment suggestions from anonymous sources and immediately uses them on the patient.
Well, you see all these commercials on television.
Yeah.
Ask your doctor if you are healthy enough for blah 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 and all this. Like maybe
Side
this
effects
was
include, and there's like 50,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever asked their doctor? I saw this commercial during nightly news, and blah blah blah. No, I
No.
always think that's so dumb.
People
So
do that though.
I guess
Oh,
they must
yeah,
because they
they do.
advertise to do it.
They spend
so-
$10 billion a year to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's big
Adam
money.
says you have to buy that Black Cat Aunt May one shot to see where the cat came from.
I'll buy the MJ Black Cat one shot. I'm not going to buy the Aunt May Black Cat one though.
Can you imagine Aunt May as drawn by J. Scott Campbell and Black Cat on the other side?
How many interactions have Aunt May and Black Cat have? Have they
I
had
think
They
they've
were
had
just
any?
in the symbiote miniseries Peter David wrote. That was a
Yeah.
fun one when they
Yeah,
were.
but those don't count because those are
Oh,
untold
yeah, that
tales.
was,
Those
yeah.
never make sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know in the game that Peter goes to talk to Aunt May, and she says, "Are you back with the rebound girl, the older one?" And he says, "Oh, Felicia," which made me think, "Oh wow, Aunt May met Felicia in this game." in the background. Anyway,
Yeah.
So May instantly realizes that this is Otto, and she acknowledges that he did the right thing. So she shows up at the hospital. She enters Peter's room. And she finds that Peter is awake and up on his feet. The coma is over.
And Aunt May cusses. I'll be damned.
Damned. They have
So
a
real
hug, and it's very nice.
So I got a question real quick. The solicit for I think 82 says that Peter can't move though. So how is he up?
We'll solicit lie all the time.
You don't have to
Yeah.
read this issue. It's not important, guys. I promise. Don't care.
What's
Well,
your
hi,
cat's name, Craig?
This is Sylvester,
Oh, hi,
Oh,
Sylvester.
that looks like a Sylvester. Yeah,
and Puddin is around here somewhere.
that's pudding. No,
they were already named
Figment
when I
was
got them
Miss
from.
Ryan Angelica Jones's dog. I thought it was Aunt May's dog.
No.
Well,
Angel.
okay.
It was
and-
there. It was all of their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
good dog.
Okay.
Soviet
bad,
anthem
Venkman.
intensifies.
And
Okay.
so Peter and May hug, and it's very nice. And in my notes, I wrote, I hope this I hope we don't get a reverse ASM 400 where May came out of a coma and lived for a week and then died. I doubt you're going to do that, but
Remember the time when you sat by my bedside and I
Yeah.
died?
and then
Back in the
And then it
90s.
goes, who?
Yeah. Oh
and then
yeah,
we
that
now find out
actress.
that
She
this
did look
Peter
like
is
me.
a genetically modified actor.
No,
Peter's
Ben's the actor.
Ben's the genetically modified
man.
Peter
Actor.
Parker. That's funny.
Yeah. So May and Peter have a nice ending here. They have a nice hug. We go to a rooftop where some guards are protecting Basir, who I believe is one of the 3 Beyond employees that Ben found in the previous issue that Craven took captive. I think so. The Basir is not a very common name, so I'm assuming that that's who this character is. But the guards are quickly taken out by Doc Ock. These are apparently guards for Infinite Solutions, and he asked them if they know that you actually work for the Beyond Corporation. He learned of Beyond's gluttonous ambitions at the previous prison. Otto uses the access card to learn that Spider-Man and Peter Parker allowed Beyond to purchase the remains of Parker Industries, the company I built. Otto realizes that Beyond Spider-Man isn't superior. He isn't the real Spider-Man. He's a copy. And in my notes I have, and somewhere George Berman smiles, but he doesn't know why. Otto says that he won't stand for any plagiarism, and he looks at what I assume is the Beyond Corporation Tower right next door, and says, I will remind them that it is I who will always remain the superior, to be continued. And the number of times Otto says superior in this issue was 5, if anyone's
Oh, really? Wow.
So
Really?
everyone take
Just a whole
5
quarter.
shots.
So can I ask a dumb question?
What?
I kind of, all right, this is more of a statement. I kind of wish they had done this to retcon that Otto had submitted like the anti-plagiarism tech to ESU at the beginning of Spencer's run, and he intentionally got Peter screwed by putting in the plagiarism stuff. That would have been in character for him, I think.
Did we ever see Otto's reaction to that event happening? Like
Which
Peter
one?
Peter getting called out publicly about plagiarizing. I mean, assuming that would have made the news. Oh, okay.
Greg, what's your grade on this one?
I admit to everything Brad said is correct.
Thanks.
About Aunt May. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but I don't
You're
care.
fitting right in, Craig, and no one does.
Remember Donovan said, Brad, I love you, but you're damn wrong, or whatever it was.
No, I think you said effing wrong was
Or
the
effing wrong,
the
yes.
line.
Okay, clean here. I love this issue. It's my favorite issue of the Beyond era so far, and it's not even close. I give this an A-.
Oh, wow. Okay. Neil?
I'm very tempted to kind of go with Craig on this one. I wouldn't go as high. I'd probably give it a B+, but this is probably one of my favorite issues of the Beyond run. Not necessarily. You are correct in terms of it not really being in character for May.
Yeah.
But I had fun nonetheless. It was fun seeing Otto once again be socially inept as a rock, and continue to simp for Aunt May with no chance at all.
Oh yeah.
It was
Ryan.
also
Ryan, what's your grade?
I give it a B.
Okay. Tyler, what's your grade?
I got to be a minus.
Kelly and I are generally aligned most of the time. We're lower on the scale. I want to see what Kelly gives us.
I give this issue a B.
Oh!
We are not aligned.
We're not.
We are not aligned. I am giving it a D.
This is the Giancarlo Esposito meme. I dislike this issue because it's not a character. I dislike this issue because it has Otto in it. We are not the same.
But Brad, Mark Bagley cover. How many points does that
is
give it?
beautiful.
Well, I didn't give it an F.
Beautiful.
I'm not counting it on the cover. Like, I actually enjoyed this.
Real
Mostly
Spider-Man,
because it's a break
not
from
Spider-Man.
Ben.
Well, that's why I didn't give it a D minus.
Yeah, but like I guess whenever it's my turn to go around the cons, we'll discuss it because like Adam in the comments wrote something involving why I cannot stand Otto, and we'll get into it during those cons because that's a large part of it. I just enjoy a good Aunt May story. Yeah, so like Adam wrote the slot.
Yeah.
The slot does, like, honestly though, like, I bet you any amount of money he does get some royalties anytime you mention Superior, and that's one of the reasons why I absolutely cannot stand
So
it.
he got $1.50.
Yeah.
5 mentions.
I'm
32
superior. Whoa.
Yeah.
Why does that sound like Skeletor? That was
Skeletor.
My goodness. Okay, Craig, your pros. What did you like? And
My-
real quick, Iris says I've become JR with these grades. I now understand the old man. Brad, are you
Circle
sure add Kelly's
complete.
head to the mix doesn't make it higher? No, this
No,
is a
because
D,
it's D
man.
for daddy.
Oh yeah, there you go. D for daddy. Go ahead, Craig. Your pros, man.
My pros. In some way, it seems weird to say this, but this is the most Peter-focused issue so far of the Beyond era, even though he's barely in it, because the Beyond, like, there's barely any mention of Beyond except for at the end when they kind of figure out, oh, Beyond is somehow related to what's going on. Pros, let's see, every Otto and May interaction I wrote down.
Seriously.
May and Otto was the team up I never knew I wanted, but now I want more of it. I love their dynamic, their back and forth, different approaches to each situation. May insulting Otto as he's trying to impress her. It all worked for me. And like I acknowledge, I said this is not the May of 1960s, 70s, 80s, probably even the 90s. But I mean, characters have to change. We can't have like the
the Beyond Corporation shutting them down.
8-year-old, like the lead Ditko era in our comics. So, look, Brad has turned himself off because he was so disgusted by me. May knows exactly the type of man Otto is and is choosing to work with him to save Peter. She's, like I mentioned, she's not deluded into thinking that he's really a good man or she can change him. She knows how she's affecting Otto and she's using it to manipulate him. It's weird and creepy, and I loved every minute of it. I love Otto's white business suit look from the yes, exactly. Here, let me.
You
help
love
with
every
that,
minute of it, including this panel, huh?
Yeah, and I acknowledge how weird and creepy it is, but
It's very creepy.
You like sometimes you like stuff that's weird and creepy, and it's like this is not right. But oh my god, it's so good.
This is me.
Brad is there.
Can you literally do this anywhere outside of my Amazing Spider-Man book, please?
Right.
So in Craig's defense, this isn't like Superior #2, which we all know what I'm talking about with that. They treat it with the really weird energy that it is. It doesn't try and like phrase it as like, oh, he's secretly a good person. The book is very upfront about Otto, like Hornacek said, or Otto's nature being who he is and that he's not a good person.
It could have been weirder though. We were missing a bucket of chicken.
Colonel Chicken.
Wait, refresh me with that again. What was the bucket of chicken?
In the 70s, when Aunt May took Otto in as a boarder, and Peter came in and he had a bucket of, and it said Colonel Chicken on it.
Yeah,
Brad,
Colonel
JR
Chicken.
discussed
Peter
that
walked
history,
in on him.
right?
Yep. Mm-mm.
I mean, they walked in on. They were just in the living room on the couch, but Peter was like, "Oh, I brought some chicken here."
Yeah, I forgot that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, other pros. Let's see who has a high grade on this thing. Who's the next highest? Neil is with a B+.
Yeah, so I guess going into the technical side, I think this issue was really well paced. Like, it didn't feel like there was any really like out of place jump cuts to a different scene. It all flowed together fairly well. The art is really good. There was actually 3 artists on this, which surprised me considering how much time they had to put these together.
Was it Gomez on the last one? Because I thought that was the best.
It was Fiorelli, Gomez, and Paco Medina. He's the last, I believe, 3 or 4 pages.
Okay, Paco Medina and Gomez I liked. Yeah. I didn't like the first half.
I liked Fiorelli.
Yeah.
I think it fits in like that realm of like very stylized and very subjectively good. But I enjoyed
it. Took 3 artists to finish, huh?
Yeah, it cost us what, $4.99 again?
Yep.
Yeah.
These .bay issues are $4.99. It seems.
Good God.
Yeah,
but there's 10 extra pages.
But like I thought the art was actually fairly consistent on a color level. Like I'm surprised how it didn't feel like very jarring art changes where sometimes they'll have a completely different colorist. If you remember ASM 74, where like every time they changed artists, it was very noticeable because they changed colorists along with the pencilers. This had, I think, it just had Rochelle Rosenberg as a colorist, and I think she's always done a very good job of blending together art styles to make it a very cohesive picture. And I got to applaud them on that because it could have easily just been like, oh God, there's Carlos Gomez out of nowhere. Oh, there's Paco Medina. But it remained fairly consistent for me, and I applaud the color. I applaud Rochelle Rosenberg for making a very consistent and well-flowing product.
Okay. It looks like you had another high grade. Ryan, you had a high grade. What's some pros out of you?
Well, one pros was, I don't know if anybody remembers Spider-Man Limited that Tom DeFalco wrote after he brought back Dr. Octopus from the dead back in the 90s, but he had really gotten that characterization, and I kind of like seeing Otto kind of, in his element, even though he was doing his courting of May or whatever, but actually seeing him relaxed, actually doing areas, and actually when he wasn't trying to, jump in with everything with May, it was actually more of a character area, which I kind of liked about that. I hadn't seen that part of Otto in a very long time. And I even liked some of his dialogue. And I actually have to say, when they were trying to go to the prison, I was laughing. I did laugh. He's lots of love. It's made with lots of love. Like, he's like, I hate this, but I'm doing it for you, mate. Dear God, I want to just snap somebody right now.
I'm acting.
Yeah.
Undercover Otto.
That's exactly
It's like undercover boss.
Yeah, I actually like that really. When I actually showed, I did like, because this has been mentioned by many people, JR especially, about how much Peter is May's son, and that she would go to these lengths to do this for him, and then her surprise at the end when he actually is recovering, like he says, like May, you're hugging me a little too height here, but but it was just like how relieved she was to see him up in there too. So that actually was one of the things I really enjoyed about the issue. I did like the artwork with it too, but that's kind of why I kept it with the B. So it was I kind of liked the odd couple kind of storyline that was with this, but there were moments too where I was like, okay, come on guys, that's seeming bad for you, or May would not say that.
Yes Tyler, you gave it a B-.
Yep.
What's the pro out of you I haven't said?
I think this is going off sort of what Kelly did mention, is that Aunt May is sort of the star here, in my opinion, and just the fact that I really like that, because we had, in the previous issues, we had Aunt May's like, she's got to get something done about Peter. These doctors aren't doing a good enough job. And so Aunt May takes the initiative, and she gets something done about this. And so she does whatever it takes to make her nephew better, just because Peter's done so much for her, and she wants to return that. And as we see, it is successful in the end with, she does convince Doc Ock to help. And I really appreciated that. And so even though she is, like you said, a little bit too hip kind of sometimes, I did enjoy seeing this side of Aunt May.
I did like how she apologizes to Dr. Burdick at the end, basically saying thank you for everything you've done for Peter, even though I've treated you like crap for the past 3 issues.
Yeah.
I can see Marissa Tomei talking like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see 80-year-old Aunt May that I've been reading for 40 years talk like that.
But we're dealing with
here.
I was about to say Kelly kind of got it, but like she's kind of been de-aged as time has gone on. She's a lot more like, I guess, Ultimate Aunt May since
they're referencing a story from the 70s where Aunt May was older. I would say at least 20 years older than Ock. If with your sliding DH scale, they're probably now 10 years apart, right? So in here, how old do you think Aunt May is? 60? And do you think Ock is early 50s? Is that what you think it is?
I think that she's probably, I think it's a fair assessment to say Ock is in his early mid 50s, and then Aunt May would be mid to late 60s if we really want to push it. But my thing is like, especially with the internet age, like it really, age isn't something where like speech has to be a certain way. She's pretty hip to the new technology. She's around a lot of people every day, with the shelter. I didn't see a problem with her speech patterns here. And that's because, like, to me, I know that there's people, in my community that are older or in the same age range. They talk like me. They talk normal. It really just depends on who they're around, what's going on. And like, she's living in New York City. She lives by herself. It's not a situation where she's not dead. She's not in a nursing home. She's not like 120 years old. It's not the 1960s here, and that's kind of the thing that like they're bringing a human aspect to May where I think sometimes people are getting blinded because they're so used to when things were more focused about showing Peter's like showing who she is through Peter's eyes versus we're not seeing her through Peter's eyes. Peter is asleep. He's not a part of this story. We're seeing Aunt May as who she is. And I think that that's where maybe because that's the way I'm taking it, and that's the way I'm assuming it's being written.
I'm just saying that every story pre this, she talked a certain way. It wasn't this hip. Out of nowhere, she's a little hipper than she's ever been, in my opinion.
Well, sorry, Kelly.
Like, I'm
No,
going to
it's
come
fine.
back and haunt you.
Yeah, that's a normal phrase. Like, I don't understand how that's a hip phrase. Like,
she isn't that sarcastic, I guess.
It depends on it. But I'll push back a bit and say that it depends on which writer you're referring to, because there are some instances where May has remained fairly consistent, but there are times when writers have, I don't want to say, given her lingo of that generation. But
Straczynski wrote a May that I remember with being a little hipper, trying to get on the internet a little bit in the early 2000s, etc., but still being a little old schoolish. Granted, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
but,
because
May was sending emails to the Bugle to cancel.
Yeah, sending emails to the Bugle was a big deal for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she was feisty, but the speech patterns just takes me out of it. I just can't.
It's one of those sliding time. Again, it's one of the issues of a sliding time scale universe that won't end.
I
in the
agree.
70s, we saw Aunt May protesting. What was it? Not the Black Panthers, but what was the protest group when she
I think it was
accidentally hit a
Nam.
police officer?
Yeah, it was Vietnam.
Yeah,
she's
I didn't
protesting.
say
because
she's not
of Denver
feisty.
Flash.
But I mean, like
I don't hear her voice.
But we
when I
never
read
would
it.
have saw, we never would have saw 1960s Aunt May doing that. There were probably people reading the book saying like that, saying, "Oh, Aunt May back in the Lee Ditko era would never act like this." So I mean, I think we just have to accept that as time goes, as the decades go on, the characters are going to change to fit the times. Like if we brought Aunt May from the Lee Ditko era into the modern era, it would be like this is not a reasonable, livable current character.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, to me, I didn't see any issue because to me it just, she's an older woman, but she's not dead. I mean, she's still a person.
And she's fairly active for a person her age.
I think
Right.
it's a little
She did get married to
ageist.
Jay Jameson, and
but I think it's a little. I think that there's little ageist undertones here because you want her to be slightly out of touch and feeble, and that's not the Aunt May we've received, and honestly,
I do like. Here's Aunt May qualities I like. She'll fight for her kid, which is Peter. She will go to extremes for her kid. I don't see flirty Aunt May. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't see hip, seducing moves. I don't see that in Aunt May.
She wasn't seducing him though.
Yeah.
She was very much flirting to get her way with something. That is not the Aunt May in my brain.
I don't want to bring it up.
It could be Marissa Tomei Aunt May. I don't see Rosemary Harris doing this with Alfred Molina. I don't see Sally Field flirting with Jamie Foxx to get the way.
Sally Field would. No.
Sally Field. I could.
I guess I could see Sally Field.
It's one of those things where like it's one of those things where like, do we apply the same stress test to like Peter, where Peter would say like, I don't know, he would dab or something? Like, would we apply that same stress test to Lee Ditko Peter?
Here's another question:
or say Crazy Town Peter?
If Aunt May can evolve and get speech patterns like this, why is Peter stuck?
He's not
evolved.
though.
Peter's not stuck.
He's still in grad school.
No, but you're talking about like the physical conditions, not necessarily the dialogue that he talks about.
The dialogue's a different story. Peter does seem to fit with the
like Peter doesn't go around like doing like, he doesn't do like, TikToks, and he doesn't do like Fortnite flossing and stuff, but he talks like a relatively normal person for his age demographic, and frankly, considering like the people, like, okay, my stepmother is in her late 50s, and she talks fairly similar to this. And if we're accepting the condition that Aunt May is in her late 50s, or was it late 50s, early 60s, Kelly?
I said
60s.
I said mid to late 60s.
But like if we're using those parameters and using my stepmother as a base, then frankly I don't see the problem with having Aunt May talk in a similar dialect to this.
Yeah.
You can't dab.
I cannot relate to Peter if he doesn't dab.
I'm sincerely. Has Miles dabbed yet?
I don't know. He's stuck in that
Turtle.
Does Marvel have an official
Gonk is
Spider-Man
dab.
TikTok account?
No, I know. Anyway,
I
where
think
were
they
we?
do.
They do.
Do we get to cons? Because I was all con on Aunt May on this.
I did have one more pro. I did like Aunt May's compassion towards Vapor. I know you didn't like her opening her cell, but
Yes, that was a pro for me. That was Aunt May.
Yeah.
That was the sweet old lady getting what she wants, Aunt May, that I like.
I don't even know if it was like just
very
like
much.
I don't even know if that was her really playing a card. I felt like that was like genuine compassion on her part towards Vapor.
No,
Like she was relating to her as a person instead of Otto just going in and smashing everything.
Yeah, it was meant to
showed
draw.
that
It was
there's
meant to
different
draw.
purpose.
It was meant to draw a direct parallel to Otto.
Glad you
where,
mentioned
like,
that, Neil. That was one of my pros. I would agree. That scene was very good.
I also did like the scene of X-Ray in the gym, like he's lifting with his friends, and they're talking about like proper gym technique.
You spot me. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not sure.
bro.
I'm not sure if it was meant to be X-Ray threatening the guy, but I did enjoy like the guy going, "You could really get someone hurt with bad technique, bro." I thought that was kind of wholesome. Not gonna lie.
Other pros or cons that we haven't mentioned already? Feel free before we wrap this show up.
I liked Otto in his white business suit straight out of the 90s.
Oh yes, that was
Yeah,
great.
that's
Seeing him
great.
back.
Oh yeah, Armani's
I
back,
love
baby.
it.
Yep. Isn't it John Byrne that hated that suit? Do you ever hear that story about John Byrne and Jim Owsley? So John Byrne was doing the covers for Web of Spider-Man when it first launched, and he hated that Armani suit. And Owsley told him to draw a cover of tentacles coming up against Spider-Man where he's up against the wall. And John Byrne goes, okay. So Web number 4, I think it is. It's just Spider-Man up against the wall with tentacles attacking him. You don't see Ock at all. And John Byrne got around it by not having to draw the Armani suit.
And I think that's probably a better cover than actually.
That was a great cover.
It was a great cover. I remember it very well.
Mary remembers Peter singing that Lady Gaga song in Slots Big Time.
That was Crazy Town Banana Pants.
And
Yeah,
Adam
well-
goes, is there anything Byrne doesn't hate? Okay. I bet you
Oof.
love this issue. No, I'm just
Money.
Yeah.
kidding. Money.
A pro, I don't know if we mentioned it, but Peter is out of his coma.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah.
a pro.
Plot
We got-
progression.
We
Yep.
got the name of the guy that's on the book talking.
Yeah.
Any other pros or cons? I am going to go over the... What Kelly?
We got cons?
Because we didn't really go over cons.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to like explain the why like my major con is Otto, and like we said earlier with Adam's stuff. I'm not like, Slot gets paid 30 cents every single time you say superior. He's literally turned into, that's all he says.
Yes.
All he says. And it's
5
either
times
him-
this issue. Yeah.
The die was
it's either
cast.
he's being completely disgustingly gross
Mhm.
because even though May went up front and said, no, that's not what this is about. I need help with, saving my nephew. And he still tries every single time to get into her pants. And that's the thing is like, y'all are saying like, oh man, May would never do this. The issue is May knows that if she doesn't string him along because of what he's doing, maybe this is just a female thing, but she realizes that if she keeps telling him no, he's going to then withhold his help until she does something for him. So that's why she's flirting with him and stringing him along so he'll do it. But the thing is he's going about it to get closer to her, to have this, because he's got this like weird diluted thing in his brain that he can wear her down to
He'll
agree.
win her back.
Yeah, and that's not the case here. And I know that that's a very Otto trait. It's just something I hate. And then I hate the fact, though, that he has become this symbol of Dan Slott.
Yeah.
That I don't want him in a book. I don't want him in a book.
That was going to be a con of mine.
Amen.
Kelly.
Amen. I
Yep.
agree. I have a feeling, though, we're in it for a long-term effect of
I know.
Slot's Doc Ock. I mean, Doc Ock was around long before Slot, but I 100% agree with what you said there. Vinkman's calling me out. I apologize. I was wrong. Wrong white suit. The Armani suit's from the 90s. He was in a doctor's white suit in the issue I was just talking about. Very true, Vinkman. I'm sorry about that. Other cons?
I like how Otto takes May to one of his safe houses, 32B. I want to know where 32A is, but I just like, oh yeah, May, come right into one of my secret safe houses. This is number 32. You got to see the other 31, and this is B, not A. And
So
wait
is
till you
so
see
is the implication?
B.
So is this like the second floor of 32, or is this like a
Oh, like-
sub building?
Like 221B Baker Street kind of
Yeah,
I
thing?
was just thinking
exactly.
the Sherlock Holmes reference.
Uh,
That's actually where I got that. That's where I was thinking the reference
Yeah.
too.
So I've got a con that
Okay.
Otto's got for this sweet sick ass gamer rig. Otto's got doesn't have 3 monitors. It has to have 3 monitors, otherwise it's not a true gamer rig. And if Otto's
that's
gonna
why Neil gave it a B plus, not an A.
That's where my nephews are crying.
get that 3rd monitor, baby.
All right, let's go over the grades. Anything else we haven't mentioned, Tyler or anybody? Nothing.
I got
Okay.
one question.
Nothing
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
been
hit
said
it,
for
Craig.
me.
So Otto is talking about Parker Industries, the company I created, but he doesn't. He now no longer knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Correct?
Yeah, I was confused about
Yeah.
that. I forget.
So why did he create Parker Industries? Does he still think that he took over Peter's body, or does he think he took over Spider-Man's body? Do we know how this works? Or
I just assume it's magic. He just
Yeah.
it's
It's
a mental
Mephisto-
block in his
it's
mind.
It's vague Mephisto magic. We don't need to explain it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Adam has a
wondering
good
why
point
in
about
his
why
in
the
his
30
memory. Why
Yeah.
did I invent Parker? Why did I create Parker Industries? I have no idea.
Adam has a good point, Ryan. 32, like the master planner
Actually,
issue. There
that's
you
a
go.
good reference. Thank you for that.
there you
Adam.
go. That's
Thank
pretty
you. I
good.
missed
There
that
you go.
reference. You were absolutely
Nice.
right. But Craig, if you want to throw in it, as far as that's why that was went back to Nick Spencer's and why he was looking for gaps in his memory, because the deal was basically reestablished that, but he forgot thing. All Otto knows is at some point he was in the body of the living brain. He had to create this company as a shell company for his own fortune, and that's where he's forgetting things. So that's where the holes are.
Like if he goes and looks up public records about Parker Industries being created, does he see footage of himself, or does he see footage of Peter Parker creating in news footage?
Ask
of
Mephisto.
him? Yeah.
You're
Like, is it a
overthinking
quantum
it,
leap,
but
where he
yeah.
looks and he sees Otto
you-
Octavius.
yeah, you're overthinking it.
Yeah, I know. It's the same as when Brand New Day started, and we didn't know what everything
Exactly.
happened.
Well, it's-
Like,
Yeah.
they weren't married.
Well, but at the end, even like at the end of at the end of Gage's Superior run, which we've talked about on Satellites, Anna Maria references Otto being Peter Parker, like that. It's a weird page where like she goes, but Peter has all these like hot redheads and black cats. But Otto liked us, and she directly puts him in parallel with Peter, and that throws another monkey wrench into the system. At this point, I'm just saying, okay, Mephisto just put Ock back in his old body and just kind of threw the details out to the wind. And just said, figure it out, reader.
All right. We're figuring it out for the readers. Let's go over our grades. We have 78 point Bay. I give it a D minus. Neil gives it a B. Kelly gives it a C plus. Craig gave it a B minus. Tyler gave it a B.
I gave Bay an A.
You did. Okay.
I did. I put it. Yeah, I
My
wrote it
bad.
down.
Oh, I almost put
It
S.
never happened.
A. Tyler gave it a B. Ryan gave it a C plus. 79. I give it a D minus. Neil gives it a B. Kelly C plus. Craig B minus. Tyler B. Ryan B minus. ASM 80. I gave it a D. It got slightly better. Neil gave it a B. Kelly gave it a C plus. Craig gave it a B. Tyler gave it an A. Ryan gave it a B minus. ASM 80 point Bay. I give it a D.
You gave it a minus D.
A minus D. I
It's a
did give it a
reverse-
minus D.
It's a reverse D for A issue. So
That
it's
sounds
minus
about
D.
right. Neil gives it a minus B plus. Kelly gives it a B minus. Oh no, you messed me up. No, I see what you're doing. These are just.
I see your mind tricks.
Kelly gave it a B. Craig gave it an A minus. Tyler gave it a B minus, and Ryan gave it a B. Was this a good month for Spider-Man?
It was all right.
Yeah, I say it was okay.
How many
The main
panels
stuff.
if you take all the panels he was in, did he fill a whole comic?
No.
No.
No, it
He
was
filled a
Aunt May.
recap
If you're Brad, it was a bad month.
It was a very bad month. My Spider-Man
Here-
wasn't. in the
I
book
think
hardly at all.
I think the core takeaway is that the .bay stuff, where Ben isn't the focus, is the best stuff in the run so far.
No.
Okay, Kelly's putting on the Jackie O glasses again. That's
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
My
no,
glasses
you're
are on, Neil. It's
you're fine. I mean, honestly, I think the highlight for me was just the issue that literally did not have Spider-Man in it.
It's kind of reminds me of Slot's run, actually, where the stuff where Peter wasn't the main character was the best stuff. Like the Prowler and Living Brain issues of the Parker Industries era were the best ones.
Personally, I just can't wait till he gets up out of the bed and it stops this madness. I'm so done with it. I'm really done.
I'm screenshotting this.
Really done.
Daddy knows.
Yeah.
Daddy's done too. This daddy's done. I'm done.
Hang on, Kelly, don't move.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, here comes
Okay.
screenshots. Okay.
We're good. I'm good now.
All right. We are going to be back. Let me give you a little preview, and I will.
Wait, are we coming back for previews, or are we just coming back for
We're just going to go
satellites?
straight to the Patreon, but I want to tell people about it. If I
Yes.
could find my tab, where did it go? Hold on a second. I made a nice little image for people to see. There it is.
Adam, it is not news night. It's Sats night.
There you go. That is what we're going to do. If you go over on patreon.com, we are going to review all these books. We got Tyler's favorite, which is Venom. I think Kelly's got Dark Ages because it has a version of Mayday in it. Kelly also loves Amazing Fantasy so much she gave it to Tyler.
Is that the
Merry
Marvel
Christmas,
PCR
Tyler.
Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Who's got Black Cat Infinity School? Who's got-
Yo,
Neil's got that one. We've also got Daredevil and Elektra with an upside down kiss over here.
I think I have that one too.
And what the hell? This is a $10
there's-
book, Kelly?
there's
Marvel
Wait,
Voices?
10. Ah, my earbud fell. My earbud fell out of my ear. But yes, it's a $10 book,
Oh my
and
gosh.
Neil had to help me buy it.
And
But I got the
just 'cause
stories
it's-
down. But I'm just mad in general that like it was last minute. Hey, can you cover this? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I guess if it's unclaimed.
And-
I
Wait.
love how like I wrote free and then Tyler was like, it's not free, and I'm like, well, I know, but I thought like maybe
There was
$6.99.
miscommunication.
$10, my God. Then we have the Death of Doctor Strange #1 we're going to review, and then a new Marvel event called Devil's Reign that involves the Kingpin.
Yeah, boy.
And Ben.
Speaking of
Spider-Man's
plot
going to sleep this one out.
It's not on here, but there'll be a Dark Hawk quickie as well with Miles.
Oh, there's a Darkhawk. Okay.
Oh, crap.
Patreon.com/crawlspace. We're going to stream exclusively to that for sensational members and above. You can watch more of what we just did right now. And you can with a little less daddy and a little less
No, there won't be. I'm wearing the hat on the
Okay.
Patreon. So
Okay,
maybe-
everyone,
hey,
Tyler,
guys,
get a
if
pair
y'all
of
wanna see-
sunglasses. We're all going sunglasses on this one.
Yeah, honestly, if you guys want to see more of this hat that it looks like everyone seems to love, get the $10 Patreon subscription and come join us.
Yeah, and I guarantee you there'll be less creepy Aunt May in this next show. I don't know
That
if
we
that's
know
what
of.
you want.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for watching. The Death of Spider-Man, Death of Doctor Strange Spider-Man had amazing artwork. Wow. Good night, everybody. Great show. Adam's yelling, "Damn it!" Meme time with Meal. Is it news night? Nope. We're going to Patreon after this.
I already said this.
No news is good news.
Okay. Everybody, we will be back in about 10 minutes. So head on over to Patreon. You got time to sign up and support the site and enjoy a good exclusive show. What am I winning, Mary? What?
The
I
drink.
love you, Mary, but what am I
well,
winning?
The vote.
you're winning the sobriety competition.
I guess so, because you guys.
Well, no, I'm sober. I haven't had anything to drink.
I'm on my
Same
third
here.
Mountain Dew. I don't know.
Am I the only one?
40,
Yeah.
46, 32 for Brad,
Oh,
45,
God.
40 for Kelsey.
Yeah.
Current.
Oh, the vote!
That's
My
what she
God,
meant,
I thought you, Mary, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about like Spider Jeopardy.
We're
or
off the
something.
air. I don't know who you're talking.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not. We're still live on the air. I
I'm
wanted to
trying
ask
to
Mary
figure
this. I wanted her to see it. So anyway, Mary, I appreciate it. Now I understand what you were talking about. So I've never done that. After the Patreon rolls, we usually get out. I came back for you, Mary, and I appreciate you. Well, we'll see.
I might have to
see you
step
on the-
around for a few minutes. I got some sleep issues over here with the little guys. So
Will this-
I'll
will this-
come
will this
back
be-
then.
Will this be in the audio version?
Sure.
Probably.
Brad will edit it out.
I
Neil
know
has
I'm
answered
live.
the
We're
question.
going live. I had to come back for Mary. All right,
going
we're out,
live.
gang. Peace.
All right.